respected sports journalist, what advice can you give on helping me score with the ladies?
Keep hanging out at ballparks and racetracks, and you'll be fine.
The Keith Olbermann Evening News, tonight at 10 on Fox Sports Net.
104. That's how many times Oregon and Oregon State have met on the gridiron, but never with so much on the line. Both teams 9-1. Both ranked in the top 10. Both teams figuring in the BCS. Both still have a shot at the Rose Bowl. The oldest rivalry game in the West divides the state of Oregon like nothing else, especially today. The eyes of the college football world are focused intently on the small town of Corvallis, Oregon. This is where a pair of top 10 teams will battle to decide if there will be a sole Pac-10 champion or if the title will be shared. A sold-out Reser Stadium is where 5th-ranked Oregon and 8th-ranked Oregon State are about to go to war, the Civil War. Hi, everybody. I'm Scott Lynn. Nice to have you with us here on Fox Sports Net. This game has been the most anticipated football game in this state for an entire generation. The Ducks have already clinched a share of the Pac-10 title, but they would like nothing more than to win it outright here today. The Beavers can deny Oregon a trip to the Rose Bowl with a win today, and the Beavs would share the conference championship with a win. And these are the two best teams statistically in the Pac-10 conference. The Beavers lead the conference in most offensive categories, but the Ducks, as you can see, are not very far behind. The Ducks second or third in all those categories. Todd McKim joins us here today for this game, and I'll tell you, Todd, you've followed them all year long. The one thing the Ducks do week after week is win, and I'm sure that they can thank their quarterback, Joey Harrington, for that.
Well, indeed, he is 13-1 as a starter in an Oregon uniform, and all he does is, like Al Davis would say, just win, baby, because he's done it his entire career. He leads the Pac-10 conference in total offense. He leads the league in passing yards as well, but the thing that he has that you have to have in a quarterback is leadership. They call him the general, and he will lead the troops into battle today. He's been a fun one to watch all season long, no question about that, Todd. Also joining us here today as we go 3 in the booth, Steve Priest, the former Oregon State quarterback. Steve, for the Beavers to win today's game, they're going to have to be able to run the football.
Oh, without a doubt. This team, if there was a question at the first of the year, was very concerned about the offensive line. But Greg Smith's done a great job of putting together newcomers with some veterans. These 5 guys, plus the tight ends, have done a wonderful job. You see the statistic there on average yards. They've also done a tremendous yards per game. They're at the top of the conference. They have 2 players in the top 10 in the Pac-10 in rushing the football.
Well, coaches always say that special teams play a big part in big games, and Todd, this is a big game.
It certainly is. It may come down to a kick, and if that's the case, both teams are confident. Ryan Seska of Oregon State, the Pac-10 Special Teams Player of the Week, has hit 13 of 15 this year. Josh Frankel for Oregon was the Pac-10 Player of the Week 2 weeks ago on special teams, so both of those guys are confident coming in.
All right, thank you very much, Todd. We are underway here in Corvallis. The fans are ready for the Civil War. This is Jermaine Hanscom taking it about the 4-yard line for the good return team for Oregon, and he's brought down at about the 21. Nice job by Oregon State special teams. Terrence Gray, one of those leading the way. Oregon State did win the coin toss and deferred to the second half. Noah Happy, you see, also involved on special teams there. 17-yard return for Hanspard, and now Dennis Erickson's Oregon State Beavers trying to win a home game, which they've been very, very successful at this season. There's Joey Harrington. This kid says, and I think he speaks for all the players in this game, if we win this game, I will never forget it. If we lose this game, I'll never forget it. I'll either cherish it for the rest of my life, or it will haunt me. And now, first play from scrimmage. And look out here, this is a pass play. A double pass play, no question about it, and an incomplete pass as they come out with some trickery right from the opening kick here, and that was intended for Justin Peel. Here's the starting lineup for the Ducks. Joey Harrington, you can see 52% completion rate. He's really come on in recent weeks. 20 touchdowns, just 8 interceptions. The offensive line, boy, these guys move around all over the place. And there is the backs and receivers, Morris, Line Tucker, Howry, and Peel. Second down and 10. There's Maurice Morris, 1,000-yard rusher for the Oregon Ducks this year, but he's struggled the last couple of games. The handoff is to Morris. Great pursuit by Oregon State. And a drop for a couple yard loss. Darnell Robinson into Lawrence Grant with the tackle. Oregon State's, there's number 5, Darnell Robinson. He is the leading tackler for this Oregon State team. Defensively, the starting lineups up front: Grant, Manning, Atkinson, and Jackson. Grant and Jackson, bookend defensive ends, just outstanding. The linebackers, Robinson, Siegler, and Allen. And the secondary, Hayward, Johnson, Cookus, Carroll, and Weathersby. Calvin Carlisle, the starting free safety, has been dinged up, did not play last week. He will likely play at some point here today. So now 3rd down and 12. Oregon with the football for the first time. Harrington under pressure. Screen pass to Morris. Morris has got the first down and then some. Finally brought down at the 42-yard line by Terrence Carroll, one of the captains for Oregon State. But the Ducks, Todd McKim with the first down of the game.
One of the things that has given Oregon problems this year is 3rd down conversions, only 31%. Perfect call against the defense. A blitz, you go with a screen, nobody on Morris. Nice block from Jeff Austin, the center from Beaverton High School, and a big first down.
And the screen has hurt the Beavers this year. The Washington game screen draw was the biggest play. Took them a couple of weeks to resolve it, but they haven't been burned for several weeks like that play.
1st and 10 at the 42. Scott Lynn, Steve Priest, Todd McKim with you. And it's the draw. Morris nearly dropped for a loss, and here comes the cavalry. He is dropped for a loss. Eric Manning, I think. Atkinson and Manning, they're all involved. That Beaver defensive front, so tough to run against.
Well, you talked earlier in the open about the running game. I still believe the team that runs the ball effectively, if there's a decided advantage in the running game, that team normally will win the football game. Nice play there by Atkinson. Excellent job in the follow-up. Great speed, great follow-through from this Beaver defense.
Loss of 3 on the play. Second time today the Beaver defense has dropped the Ducks for a loss. At Oregon with the football up near midfield. 2nd and 13. Harrington under pressure. Jackson had a hand on him. Flag on the play, and this is complete. Nicely done there to Marshawn Tucker, but there is a flag on the play. You can see some players are doing a little yapping at each other, as we will have throughout this game. But complete to Marshawn Tucker. It's against Oregon. Looks like holding.
Tucker made a very nice catch, well covered, took the ball away from a defensive back. In fact, I thought there was a chance of an interception when the ball was thrown. Joey Harrington was in the grasp at the time as well.
I think one of the keys today, Steve, is how Oregon State decides to attack Joey Harrington. Oregon loves to roll the quarterback out, and with the great speed at the linebacker positions and the defensive ends, I think Oregon State will probably rush upfield and try to contain him and keep him in the pocket.
Well, I think you're right. I think that's what they have to do, and I think Oregon also can counter. As you look at a great job outside by Ladarius Jackson doing just what you're talking about, Todd. I think the way you counter it is you throw a couple of those little quick screens like they did on the first 3rd down situation. It slows the ends down.
LaCorey Collins checks in at the tight end spot for Justin Peel now on this 2nd down 23 play. Ladarius Jackson, 4 tackles for loss last week at Arizona. 2nd, 23. Harrington under great pressure. Down he goes. To Lawrence Grant.
And he beat the right tackle, Lee Gundy. Grant is a much quicker player than Gundy, and that'll be something of concern for Oregon today.
Well, DeLawrence did not play in this game last year. As you watch him come from the outside right, he's just a tremendous talent. Yeah, it looked like he was held too, but didn't play last year. He's about 270 pounds, runs 4.6, Todd. He's a specimen.
This Oregon State defense has been outstanding all year long. You see the Pac-10 rankings, number 2 in some categories, number 3 in others. And I'll tell you, the big one there is turnovers, plus 12 takeaway to turnover ratio. That's a very big stat for the Oregon State Beavers this year.
And this is a bad timeout if you're Oregon, because it's 3rd and 32. There aren't many plays that you can use, and they have to burn a timeout.
Joey Harrington, obviously it's pretty loud down there on the field as well.
Well, he had problems. The clock was just about down. It seemed like a quick start. And a lot of times, you know, the officials this year have been running that early on, so there was no malingering around, and certainly it happened there.
Oregon State, of course, won the last time these two teams played here in Corvallis in that double overtime thriller. But Oregon leads the series all time, 52, 41, and 10. The Ducks having won 20 of the last 25. Ironically, the home teams won the last 3, but only 37% all time. It's That's kind of an interesting stat there.
Well, it really is. I'm kind of surprised at the stat, but you know, for so many years, the Beavers really weren't competitive, Civil War or not. It was a strong Duck team against another Beaver team. I'm not so sure that the Beavers didn't play well away because it was not that big a deal.
There's the weather today, 32 degrees, but we aren't going to have rain here, and that's kind of unusual. It has rained here in Corvallis at some point during the football game every year that the game's been played here in Corvallis since 1980. 20 years of rain dripping down on these fans.
And that's the one area where the odds makers lost big time this week because the over and under was definitely rain.
You can see the fans very much into it here. The Ducks and the Beavers. The Ducks undefeated in Pac-10 play this year. The Beavers with just one loss, that to the Washington Huskies.
Well, as you get ready for this, I'll tell you, Todd, about the rain. UCLA game, the Beavers are down 10 points, I believe, wasn't it, Scott?
Yep.
Clouds parted, rain started coming down, players pointing up at the sky, and the Beavers scored 10 or 14 points in about a minute and a half.
So here's the 3rd and 32 play that was whipped up on the sidelines, and Harrington's under pressure, gets the throw away. It is in and out of the hands, and what a pop Terrence Carroll put. It's picked by Jake Cookus. Cookus with the interception, and he's still on his feet, and Cookus might go. No, caught from behind. A touchdown saving play. Flags being thrown now. I would imagine it's celebration. Harrington is being talked to there by Eric Manning, and I think we're going to have some sort of taunting against Oregon State, but I'm sure that interception will hold. Terrence Carroll put the big-time hit on the Ducks' intended receiver.
Well, it was a great play defensively. Carroll makes the play. Cookus right there. A backup that plays a lot of football, but he's there. You see the pressure coming good. Nice job and excellent job by Jake Cookus. Now what you see at the end, or what we probably will see, is a late hit, probably Manning chasing around the quarterback, or as you say, taunting. Dennis Erickson said yesterday to the Beaver fans in Portland, you can't let this game be decided by silly penalties. This is a silly penalty to start, takes the Beavers out of great field position, takes them back so they're on the 32-yard line.
Josh Line with the touchdown saving tackle there as he went from offense to defense in a hurry, Todd.
Well, nice run back by Jake Cookus, but remember, this guy was an option quarterback at Roseburg High School. His head coach was Thurman Bell, a former Beaver, and then he went to the Air Force Academy where they ran the option as well, so not surprising that he knew what to do with the ball after he caught it.
Well, and 2 weeks ago, he intercepted against Cal and pitched it and just about went back to the Air Force Academy, I'm telling you.
Jonathan Smith, quarterback in the Beavers. This is Ken Simonton, and nowhere for him to go. Matt Smith coming up from the linebacker spot among those white shirts in there to make the stop. Oregon State, one of the most potent teams in the Pac-10 conference, as we said, leading in so many of those categories, and they are going to have their work cut out for them today as the Duck defense has done a pretty good job. You've taken a look there at number 35, Simonton. There's number 48, Saul Patu. It's going to be an interesting war down in the trenches today. Loss of 2 on the play, so 2nd down and 12. Bush-Manzana is wide to the right side for Oregon State, out of your picture there. The handoff to Simonton, and he's going to get a couple of yards there. Pickup of about 4, and it'll be 3rd down and about 8 when we have the next play. Starting lineups for the Oregon State Beavers. The quarterback is Jonathan Smith. Talk about a winner. The Beavers 17-8 with Jonathan Smith as the starter. Good touchdown to interception ratio. Here's that offensive line Steve talked about earlier, doing a magnificent job this year. Simonton, the running back. Prescott, Johnson.
Ball, personal foul, offense.
Another personal foul.
Personal foul, defense.
Yeah, they'll offset there.
Penalties offset.
The Beaver receivers, we didn't get through them all there, but it's Chad Johnson, Robert Prescott, and Hushmanzada. Those 3 guys have done a tremendous job this year, Steve.
Absolutely. They've come along together, particularly since Robert Prescott came back from an early season suspension. They're playing very good football. Every team that the Beavers have played the last 4 weeks has ganged up and said, we're going to stop the run with 7 or 8 guys, and you're going to have to throw at us, Jonathan Smith and receivers. These guys have done a great job the last 4 or 5 weeks.
So 3rd down, 9, actually almost 8. It's not 8.5 yards. And here's Smith to throw on the slant. Oh, yes! It's going to be a touchdown for Oregon State, Robert Prescott.
Tremendous timing. Excellent throw by Jonathan Smith. You see what Robert Prescott does best. He will attack Oregon's safeties with that inside slot position. If there's a weakness in the secondary for Oregon, it has to be at the safety position because these cornerbacks are good ones.
And they throw it behind the linebacker, Matt Smith. He had over-pursued there. Great throw. And a good start for Oregon State after the turnover.
The extra point by Ryan Seska is through the uprights. Nice and true. And Jonathan Smith with his 16th touchdown pass of the season. This one to Robert Prescott. His 8th career touchdown gives the Beavers the lead in the Civil War.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
It's a special edition of College Football Saturday. On Friday, bitter rivals duel in the desert. Arizona State battles Arizona with bowl hopes hanging in the balance. And on Saturday, the #1 team takes center stage as Josh Heupel leads Oklahoma's national championship drive against arch foe Oklahoma State. A weekend of action kicks off Friday with the pregame show, only on Fox Sports Net.
Robert Prescott, this guy has been big. The senior from Seattle's JFK High School. 3 plays, 33-yard drive, just a minute 22, and Prescott on the 30-yard reception on the pass from Jonathan Smith. Now the Beavers will kick it to the Ducks, who will have it for the second time today. There's Seska going to kick it off again. Amundsen and Hanspard are back, and this is going to again be Hanspard at about the 6. He's going to be pinned in there in a hurry. Stays on his feet. Great return by Jermaine Hanspard. Pac-10 football on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by today's manufactured home. Built for living and built for life. And by True Value. Help is just around the corner. Reser Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon, where the Beavers are on top of the Ducks, 7-0. A 23-yard return by Hanspard. We should mention, Todd, that the Ducks have the top return team on kickoffs in the Pac-10 Conference.
That's right. The only thing they haven't done is break one for a touchdown. Nobody has in the Pac-10 this year.
Oregon State's coach is tremendously worried about Oregon's return teams. Not only just the people that catching the football, but just the execution and the effort put forth on Oregon's defensive team.
Well, Tom Osborne has done a tremendous job in the special teams area. The Ducks #1 in the league in most of those special team return and coverage return categories. They spent a lot of time working on that, and they're very prolific over the last 4, 5, 6 years.
Amundsen in at the running back spot now. After the 4-yard pickup, second down and 6. Harrington under center. Lots of time to throw. Gets it out to Amundsen out of the backfield. Darnell Robinson grabs and brings him down about a yard shy of the first down at the 38-yard line. Needed to get to the 39. It'll be 3rd and 1.
What's interesting that Morris is not in, but Amundsen is. Morris has had some injury problems, but Amundsen has certainly been a serviceable running back for the Ducks. That's only his 7th reception of the year. He's got a good little burst, low center of gravity, obviously good hands because we see him on returns, kickoff returns. So he's a guy that the Ducks can use in a number of different situations.
Is he a speed guy?
He's not as fast as Maurice Morris, that's for sure. I think he's more of a burst guy, you know, the 5 to 10 yard type of run rather than the 50, 60.
So on 3rd and 1 out of the eye, Josh Line, the fullback. Amundsen, the tailback. It is given to the fullback up and over. First down across the 40 to about the 41. Josh Line, number 47, the junior out of Springfield, Oregon. This guy has had a nice season.
He's had a very good season, has caught a couple of touchdown passes. They don't run the fullback very much in this Oregon offense, but they do use him as a lead blocker. They will throw to the fullback. We saw that in a number of games this year. He's a former high school quarterback, so he's a good athlete, and up to 245 has good size.
Line, you might recall, dropped a certain touchdown pass in that Wisconsin loss, but then who didn't, it seemed like, in that game. 11 drops for the Ducks in that game. And now, here is Morris under great pressure. And what running. Morris finally hit once by James Allen, kept his feet, and boy, he does not go down.
But you know what? That's the difference between Maurice Morris and Reuben Drones that we saw last year. Reuben Drones would have taken on that tackler.
Yeah.
Full speed. And here, Morris, and again, he's injured. He's got the bad ribs if that factors into his decision-making. Good decision to turn and head the other way. Gets a nice crackback block there from a receiver. But right there, he doesn't challenge the tackler, James Allen, and instead gets pushed back a little bit.
I don't know whether I'd challenge James Allen either.
But it's, you know, it's a mentality thing.
Yes, it is. Drones is one of the toughest backs I've seen in recent years in this conference. And obviously, I think it's with Detroit, isn't he?
On injured reserve, will not play the rest of the season.
Harrington to throw. Got a guy out there. Couldn't hit him. The pass intended for Marshawn Tucker.
And it didn't look as though Tucker was ready to catch the football, that
No.
it was even coming his direction, because he certainly had a step and a half on the defender.
Looked like Joey was throwing a post pattern, and he had a seam out of Tucker.
He was there.
Maybe he was thinking about Terrence Carroll after he saw what Terrence did to Keenan Howard.
Joey wants that ball back, I think. Either that or he wants Marshawn to turn around and take a look. Harrington 2 for 4, 26 yards with the 1 interception. And now on 3rd down and 8. Pressure coming. Harrington still has time to throw, and it's out of bounds. Incomplete. Intended for Keenan Howard. 4th down punting situation. And here comes one of the good ones in the Pac-10 Conference, Curtis Dorr, on to do the punting.
One of the best directional punters in the Pac-10. In other words, he will do a good job of keeping it away from the return man, TJ Hushmanzada, who's very explosive back there. But Dorr has done a great job this year of pinning opponents inside the 20-yard line. He's done it 23 times so far.
Hushmanzada is 4th in the Pac-10 in punt returns, averaging 9 yards per return. He's broken 1 for 48 yards and almost had a touchdown on that one. He actually did return one all the way against USC. And look out, that's going to be a flag. A flag as Tavita Moala has run into the kicker. So it looks to me like the Ducks are going to get to keep the football.
It was James Newsom, not Tavita. We've got a double number there, and he's pleading that he was blocked into it. It's hard to tell. He was flying over somebody.
I think the ball was tipped, though, guys, because that was an end-over-end punt, and that would indicate that maybe it was tipped. And
it was. The referee has picked up his flag. Right you are, Todd. So it is James Newsom in number 2, and he apparently did get it.
Nice job, actually, by Newsom. He's trying to tell him right there.
Well, I didn't think he got it, but you were right, Todd.
Well, because it would be, first of all, very unusual for Dorr to punt one end over end. But second of all, the official, you would think, could hear that, you know, hear the tip. It turns out...
I got to think it's noisy down there, though.
I think it is, too, but, you know, he's pretty close. You can hear things like that. But it turned out being a great punt because it's inside the 15-yard line.
James Newsom missed the first 3 games, suspended early in the year, but comes up with a big play here somewhat in the Civil War. And now to throw on 1st down, Smith to the tight end, Martin Maurer. Maurer banging his way close to a 1st down. I think he's got it. Football on the turf. Let's see if it was whistled down or not. I think so, but the Ducks are saying they have the football. Martin Maurer picks it up and says, no, I still do.
2 footballs
out there. That's the case, yeah, we do have a problem. 2 footballs in 1 game. Big game for Martin Maurer, isn't it, guys? You know,
boy.
His dad, of course, played for the Ducks. His uncle's at Oregon State. And, you know, a 4th-year senior. He's a guy that played as a true freshman and has made some very key catches in his career for Oregon State.
He's been a big play guy. You know, he'll make plays when they can't, starting with Nevada a year ago. Broke the game open with a 74-yarder. Had the 2 biggest plays this year, I think, of his career against UCLA, and they were almost non-plays, as you recall.
Simonton wrapped up by Jason Nicolau. This Duck defense, boy, I'll tell you, they've looked very, very good at times. And then, of course, with the exception of that Arizona State game where there was, what, almost 700 yards in total offense.
Well, they've given up big plays this year. They've done a nice job for probably 97% of the plays this season, but it's the other 3%. You can see the best run defensive games this year. But where all of those were at home.
Yeah.
On the road, they're giving up big chunks, over 200 yards a game on the road.
Well, they sure bring people. Look at this. They got 8 people up there in the box.
Inside handoff to Simonton, and he's going to lose yardage. The Ducks very strong up front. Jed Boyce, you see right there, number 50 from Gold Beach, Oregon, out of Marshfield High School. One of the many seniors playing their last regular season games here today.
See the little shotgun the Beavers run. Jonathan Smith about 4 yards, 4.5 yards back. The back actually lined up behind him, which is a little bit different wrinkle than most shotguns.
3rd and 10 coming up here.
Empty backfield.
That's Garrett Sable, number 35, you saw. Somewhat of an undersized linebacker, but boy, he's done a nice job and playing hurt most of the year. And Jonathan Smith doesn't like what he sees, and he's going to take a timeout here. So with 6 minutes left in this first quarter, Jonathan Smith and Coach Dennis Erickson are going to talk it over on the sidelines. We'll be right back. The Beavers lead the Ducks 7-0.
On any given Saturday, a hero is born.
What a play! What a night! What a game!
Pac-10 college football on Fox Sports Northwest is brought to you locally by West 11th Car Star for quality auto collision repair. West 11th Car Star. It's up to you to make the call.
The Rolex 24 at Daytona, America's toughest sports car race. At the Daytona International Speedway, drivers like 5-time champion Hurley Haywood race 24 hours through the heat of day and dark of night. Hurley and his Rolex are up to the rugged demands of this legendary race. Rolex, the choice of champions.
The full line of Rolex watches is available at Skis Jewelers, your official Rolex dealer.
Welcome back to Corvallis. Oregon State leading Oregon 7-0 here in the first quarter. 3rd down and 10. The ball on the Beaver 24-yard line. Jonathan Smith and company.
2 tight ends.
2 tight ends. It is Simonton, the lone running back. 2 receivers to the right side, the bottom of your screen. And here it is on 3rd and 10. Big play early in the game. Smith to throw. Intended for Maurer out there. Tied up, and a flag comes in late.
A little bit of holding there.
Yeah, Wesley Mallard, a linebacker, a former safety, but now playing linebacker, isolated with the tight end.
We have not seen that throwback pattern all year that I can remember, Todd. And Beavers come out throwing it. Jonathan puts it there. Pretty good coverage.
Might have been a little contact. At least that's what the official says. It is against Oregon. First down for the Beavers, and that's going to get the fans in the orange and black here on a sunny day in Corvallis up in arms. Looking pretty good here early are the Beavers. The Ducks, meanwhile, trying to hang around. Todd, this is an interesting situation. The Ducks, you look at the statistics, the Ducks and the Beavers numbers are almost identical in per game. However, lately, the Beavers have dominated their opponents, and the Ducks have had some trouble.
Well, the Ducks, of course, have had 3 of their last 4 games decided on the final play.
And flags everywhere here.
Just a little hello right there.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens. I remember years ago playing against Ron Pritchard, an All-American linebacker at Arizona State. We had a consensus All-American center, John Diddy, and Pritchard came over the top of him and drilled the quarterback the first 3 plays of the game until he was warned he was going to be thrown out of the game. Never a ball snap.
Well, Jed Boyce leads the Ducks with 5 quarterback hurries. That would have been the 6th. But he hurried a little too much.
And a lot of those came against Washington State. I talked to Jed. He's been real good at getting off the ball quickly, and he says he tries to get the cadence rhythm of the quarterback. Jonathan Smith, though, an experienced quarterback. We'll see if he changes the cadence today.
First down and 5 now. All at the 43, and a pitch. Look out, Simonton on the reverse. And not fool the Ducks for a second. That's Chad Johnson with it, but nice job. Number 56 with the tackle, Michael Collier, the linebacker, says not going anywhere, Mr. Johnson.
But the guy that made the play defensively was the defensive end, Jason Nicolau. He stays at home. He sees the reverse coming, and watch here. Chad has to cut inside Nicolau. He doesn't make the tackle, but that enables Collier, the senior from Jefferson High School in Portland, to scrape off and make the tackle.
Interesting point. Beavers don't run a toss. They do not have a toss in their 5 or 6 play arsenal. That's a new play for the Beavers. Let's see if they use it the rest of the day, or whether that was just a trick play only.
No gain. It looks like, again, the cadence has drawn Boyce offside. We'll see if any Beavers move to draw him offside, but Beavers seem to be indicating it's against the Ducks. Oregon State. Boy, have these 2 teams been looking forward to this one all year. And back about 4 or 5 weeks ago, both these teams were saying, hey, you look at the schedule, we could win out. We could be 9-1 when we meet. But boy, that was a long time ago, and there was sure a lot of work to be done.
Well, I think both teams did a good job, though, of focusing on the task at hand each and every week. There is the tendency when you see that your rival having a good year to look to that last game. I think the coaching staffs of both squads have done a great job of keeping their teams focused each week.
Without a doubt. And finding ways to win with these teams. It's been a little bit different in the path the last few weeks, but nonetheless, these coaches have found a way to win with these players.
Simonton carries for a first down. He is tackled by Saul Hatu. Simonton, prior to that, 4 carries, 1 yard. That's his longest run of the day. And this is a guy who leads the Pac-10 in rushing, 136 yards a game, leads the conference in scoring at 10 points per game, and he's been the heart and soul of the Beavers.
Well, absolutely. In fact, the first 5 or 6 games, he just ran wild. Teams have loaded up the box. There's just no question. They're trying to stop him and make the Beavers beat him throwing the football.
Simonton, first 4 games, averaged 31 carries per game. Since then, has averaged 19 per game. And there's another pass complete. And again, it's going to be a touchdown to Prescott. Those 2 guys having some fun in Corvallis.
Well, again, it's the slot receiver, and that was the concern by Oregon, is the slot receiver isolated on a safety. And for the second time, the Beavers have taken advantage of that matchup.
It's a matchup the Beavers should take advantage of, as you said. They've got great speed in the slot with Robert Prescott, and also a tremendous knowledge of football. Prescott and Smith have been playing together for 3 years. They know each other. Beavers haven't thrown throwback until today. We've seen it already twice, once on the penalty with Maurer, and now this one.
The extra point, up and through. Ryan Seska, a perfect 80 of 80 in his Oregon State career. Prescott and the Beavers have struck twice here in the first quarter and lead the Ducks 14-0.
Special edition of College Football Saturday. On Friday, bitter rivals duel in the desert. Arizona State battles Arizona with bowl hopes hanging in the balance. And on Saturday, the #1 team takes center stage as Josh Heupel leads Oklahoma's national championship drive against arch foe Oklahoma State. A weekend of action kicks off Friday with the pregame show, only on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to Corvallis, Reser Stadium, and the Oregon State Beavers on top of the 5th-rated Ducks, 14-0 here in the first quarter. Robert Prescott with 2 touchdown receptions here in the first quarter. A 49-yard catch right here, making it 14-0. Prescott now 104 receptions. He's in the top 10 Oregon State all-time. And now we are back to action, and it is going to be Hansbard taking it just short of the 20. And a flag is down here. And again, here we see James Newsom making the tackle on special teams, but there is a flag on the play at the 25-yard line.
A lot of talking going on out there.
No question in there. The penalty against the University of Oregon.
This deficit, by the way, matches the largest deficit Oregon has faced all year long. 14 points.
And interestingly enough, the Beavers start out at Cal 14-0.
Illegal block in the back during the return. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down, 10.
Coming up tonight, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report. 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to the home teams throughout the Northwest. Home team news, local stories, and regional highlights. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, don't miss the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report tonight, only on Fox Sports Net.
But the Beavers 2 weeks ago seemed like they just started slapping high fives and standing around on the sideline, believing they were going to run away with it. I'm wondering if Dennis Erickson convinced him that you got to play the whole football game, especially again. Oh boy, this is a great linebacker.
Morris, boy, you give him the ball and it's trouble. There's Darnell Robinson with the tackle, but this guy Morris, 1,000-yard rusher, and again he's rushed for less than 100 yards in the last 2 weeks due to all the injury problems he's had.
Well, to finish the comment on the Cal issue, the Beavers really stopped playing. They kind of took it easy as you look at Morris's stats right here, but it really had an effect. They never could put Cal away because they sort of lost focus. I don't see them doing that. I think it was a good learning responsibility.
9-yard pickup on that last play, and now the handoff trying to get inside. I'm not sure if he made it. Richard Siegler, the linebacker, came up to stop him short of the first down, I think.
Well, Josh Lyon must have been lobbying the coaches this week. He gets 2 carries in the first quarter. You know, that's about the 1/8 of his attempts this year. You know, you talked about Morris. I looked at that first down play, and I think back to the Oregon State game against Washington. That was something that the Huskies did against the Beavers, was that delay, let the Beavers, with their quickness and speed, get upfield and try to take advantage of what is an Oregon State strength, and that is their speed.
Absolutely, and I think we already saw the screen side of it, which is exactly what Washington did.
Oregon State only allowing the opponents to get a first down 26% of the time, and here trying to get around the outside. Morris, he got the first down and then some. Morris finally across midfield, and now a flag thrown as well, but a big run for the Ducks by Maurice Morris.
Well, I wonder what this call's going to be. It looked like both players just kind of hit. It almost looked like a punch thrown by Morris, didn't it? As he's going to have an elbow or something thrown.
Well, it's a play that Oregon has used successfully over the years, kind of that reverse belly pitch. You're right.
It's against the Ducks.
You watch this at the end. He's just going to get hit as he's going out of bounds, and he throws a forearm. Take a look. I like this play. The Ducks have always been successful. You got to stay outside when you're supposed to be out there with contain. Now watch this right at the end.
Personal foul, offense.
Right there.
Threw the arm out. Kind of threw the arm out. Yeah, he did.
Still first down.
You know what? He's almost out of bounds, too.
Well, I mean, you could say both guys were out of bounds. I mean, you know, maybe the penalty is offsetting in some regards, but Morris definitely threw a blow to the upper body.
The Ducks this year have only averaged a little over 7 penalties a game, but 6 already here in the first quarter.
Field position. You know, that means a lot.
Well, that's been a big thing. The Ducks in their games this year have started on average at the 36-yard line and the opponents at the 25. But today, now the Ducks would have had the ball in Oregon State territory, but now they're back in their own territory. And on this play, Terrence Carroll makes the tackle.
Well, you can see Oregon has not gone into a panic mode. There's a lot of time. It's not like they're starting to throw the ball all over the lot. Both teams, I still believe this, with a long way to go, both teams believe they have to run the football. Oregon State has taken advantage of the passing opportunities. The Ducks have not been able to do that. Harrington has not been a factor so far.
He is Captain Comeback. He is the general. Don't go away, Duck fans. There's a long way to go.
He's got you right where you want to, right? Behind.
Well, remember, the Ducks were down 14 at Arizona State in the fourth quarter and came back to win in that wild overtime game. And Harrington to throw. And it is Cookus again. Second interception of the day. Jake Cookus.
And we're going to have a flag against Oregon State's Eric Manning for nailing Joey Harrington 5 or 8 seconds after that play was over. And so that'll take away good field position for Oregon State.
Well, and you know, it's going to get Eric thrown out of the football game. That's the second one, I believe, on Manning. You just can't do it. Dennis has talked to these kids about this. It costs you football games when you make silly mistakes.
How about Jake Cookus, though, as you see him celebrating right there. Second pick of the day. 4 on the year, 6 in his career, and the junior from Roseburg. He was an all-state player, and boy, he's feeling all-state in this Civil War game today.
And it's very tough coverage. He's man-to-man on the slot. Now let's take a look here. Nice play.
On the intercepting team. 15-yard penalty. First down 10.
Right there. That's uncalled for. Play's over.
You got it. Absolutely uncalled for.
Jake Cookus starting since Calvin Carlisle's had the injury, the foot sprain. So Jake Cookus being a star here in the Civil War. We're going to be right back.
Discussing a man's sexual behavior is always a very discreet topic. This commercial talks about NRX, a safe, natural alternative to prescription drugs when you want that extra burst of sexual energy.
Are you one of the millions of American males who would like increased sexual energy when you need it most? NRX is the answer.
Clinical studies show various ingredients of NRX to enhance sexual energy and performance when taken on a regular basis.
You'll enjoy your newfound energy the natural way, without chemicals. We're so sure you and your mate will be completely satisfied. We'll offer you a 30-day, no questions asked, full refund.
And now, it's like
about every single day.
Great.
Call now and take advantage of our special television offer.
Call 1-800-283-2850 and order Enerex now. Forget those expensive pills and chemicals. Get results using the safe, effective, all-natural alternative, Enerex.
Welcome back to Corvallis. Jonathan Smith and the Beavers now with the football at a 14-0 lead. The quarterback comparison, Jonathan Smith, 80% of his passes so far. The big numbers, of course, TDs and interceptions. Smith has thrown 2 touchdowns. Harrington has been picked twice by Jake Kukis. Beavers with it 1st and 10 on their own 27 here in the second quarter. Play action to Simonton. Smith gonna throw. Got a guy out there. What a catch by Chad Johnson.
Wow. This guy has really come on, Todd. He is a talent. I don't know anybody who can run with him. He's a 4-2 guy.
Well, not only run with him, but at 6'3", he's going to win some jump balls. And quite frankly, if that's a 5'10" receiver, he can't get to that ball.
That is the
combination of both size and speed.
Excellent protection there. Give credit to the O-line, but watch this catch. This is what's sweet. Wow.
And that's what the NFL scouts like about him, too.
Well, there were several scouts last week, and they really were impressed with this guy, particularly the first half. He had 6 or 7 catches, and that's an NFL catch, folks.
44-yard pass play on that one. Inside handoffs. Oh, boy, nowhere. Nothing doing. Saul Patu says, good to see you. Been waiting for you to drop by.
Well, I mean, we're seeing what the game plans are here. Oregon says Ken Simonton is not going to beat us in this football game. We're going to make Oregon State beat us through the pass. And right now, Oregon State has responded by saying, we can do that.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's what everybody said the last 4 weeks. And so far, the Beavers have been able to do that. And I think everyone questions it. And to tell you the truth, if Oregon State gets in a rhythm and Simonton gets in a rhythm and they blow people out on the line, it's a whole lot easier for them to win that way. So I think Nick Aliotti is doing the right thing at Oregon with his strategy.
Looked like Smith might have changed the play at the line of scrimmage. Now he's all back there by himself, going to throw, and he just threw it away.
That's Jonathan Smith. He's learned his lessons well. He knows when there's nothing there, don't take the loss, don't take the sack, get rid of the football.
It's interesting. I talked to Dennis Erickson this week about the maturation of Jonathan Smith as a quarterback. We saw it happen after last year's Stanford game down the stretch. He didn't make mistakes. And this year, a big difference from last fall, just at the start of this year. But the real big improvement has been from the beginning of this year until now, the last 8 or 9 games. He just does not make mistakes.
Third down play coming up. 3rd and 13, we'll call it. Beavers have to get to the 19-yard line. Simonton is back there, probably to block, as Smith will throw. Boy, lots of time and throws intended for Johnson. Oh, flag comes in. Duck fans aren't going to like it.
Well, they're going to say it was an uncatchable ball. Great job by the offensive line to give Jonathan Smith an alley through which to throw and see. The ball sailed on him, and we'll see if this was a catchable ball or if the penalty holds.
Well, the officials are going to talk it over. After seeing Chad Johnson make the diving catch, they might say he might have been able to get that. That is going to be the call, but even Chad Johnson, I don't think, has the hops to get to that one.
You're right.
Yeah, I think that ball was overthrown substantially, but too close, I guess, in the eyes of the officials. And again, a penalty hurting Oregon on a 3rd down in this case.
Defense, 15 yards from the previous spot.
I don't think you're going to see an official make that call unless it's so clear that it's really, you know, it's like instant replay in the pros. You absolutely got to know it's not catchable before you make the call.
Jim Springer, the referee, is who we're hearing from throughout the day. 1st down and 10 for the Beavers, now at the 17-yard line of the Ducks. And boy, a touchdown here, and those fans wearing the yellow and the green in that one end zone are going to be awfully quiet. Smith with Simonton in the backfield, under center, long count, gives to Simonton, looking for a hole, picks up a couple of yards, and Jed Boyce, I think, the first to get him, number 50.
Nice. It looked like the Beavers had a matchup out there on the wide receiver Johnson and Bowman one-on-one coverage, but they decided to keep it on the ground. And a nice job here by Oregon keeping their gap responsibilities, not getting blown out of the gaps. Remember last year in the Civil War, Oregon did a great job in the first 2.5 quarters in shutting down Kenny Simonton.
Red zone opportunities, you see right there, the Beavers 25 touchdowns and 9 field goals this season. And now Smith to throw into the end zone, intended for Marty Maurer, and he got hooked up a little bit.
Nice play.
job there by Wesley Mallard defending. And it'll be a third down play coming up. Mallard, he had a broken thumb.
Mallard, a duck, huh?
Yeah, well, it had to be.
Yeah,
I guess.
Remember a couple of years ago, Oregon State had a player by the name of Donald Beavers, right?
Well,
so you got to go to that school, right?
You got a mascot named Benny and a tight end named Benny. And
Well, of course, you've got that Webster out at free safety as well.
Ooh, that's a good one, Scott. You're going deep into the old library to get that stuff.
Ducks this year, as far as their opponents are concerned, have scored 14 on the 15 and 11 touchdowns. Not real good. And now Smith throwing. This is Chad Johnson. He's held up. No flags thrown. Beaver fans and Chad Johnson both want some sort of interference, but it's going to be a field goal attempt coming up as Rashad Bowman with the nice defense there.
You know, we had that graphic about red zone. Only 15 opportunities for opposing teams. You say, wow, only 15, you're doing a great job. The problem is the big plays, there've only been 15 opportunities for the opposing defense.
Just passing through the 20-yard line.
That's right. On the way, too.
Seska has made 12 of his last 13. I actually nominated him for the Groza Award. He's had an outstanding season. This one was up, and it is through. Ryan Seska now 14 of 16 on the year. And with 10-10 left, Benny the Beaver and Dennis Erickson and all the fans wearing the orange and black in Corvallis are happy because the Beavers lead the 5th-ranked Ducks here in the Civil War 17-0.
He's at the 40, the 30, the 20. He could go over.
Has your car been sacked by a 1-ton linebacker? Send in the special teams at West 11th Car Star. West 11th Car Star for complete quality collision repair. Plus, they're the only collision service company that backs up their work with a 5-year nationwide guarantee. Don't fumble this season. See the pros at West 11th Car Star. West 11th Car Star, 344-8252. It's up to you to make the call.
It's been voted the #1 pizza in the Northwest by consumers. In fact, the only thing better than Izzy's Pizza is free Izzy's Pizza. And for a limited time only, that's exactly what you'll get. Free pizza. As many slices as you want, as many kinds as you want. Just purchase Izzy's incredible all-you-can-eat salad bar for our regular low price, and the pizza's free. But hurry, this is a limited time offer. Free pizza. As many slices as you want, as many kinds as you want. Only at Izzy's.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Oregon State leading Oregon 17-0 here in the Civil War. Ryan Seska will tee it up and kick it off to the Ducks after Seska kicked the 32-yard field goal, capping the 7-play 58-yard drive. 17-0. The Ducks have got them right where they want them, Todd.
Well, a Duck fan might say that, but you have to wonder, down 17, the largest deficit of the year for Oregon.
And this is going to be Hanspard taking it about the 8-yard line. Beavers come up. Oh, great special teams work for Oregon State. Noah Happy again. He's been big on special teams today. He's a happy guy.
Notice that Oregon State has kicked the ball every time to Jermaine Hanspard, a defensive back, as opposed to kicking it to Alan Amundsen, who's #1 on the team in kickoff returns.
Dennis Erickson, of course, has won a couple of national championships during his time at Miami of Florida, has had only one losing season as a collegiate coach. And, of course, at Oregon State last year, after 28 consecutive seasons of losing, the Beavers had a winning season, went to a bowl game, and now this year 9-1, 6-1 in the Pac, trying to win a share of the Pac-10 title here today by beating the team that is currently undefeated in conference action. Harrington complete to Justin Peel. Pickup of about 6 to the 26-yard line. Calvin Carlisle in the football game now, making the stop.
Calvin hurt his knee a couple weeks ago. Did not even make the trip to Arizona, yet he wants to play. He's been the starter for 2 years at that position. He's usually a great man-to-man guy, and you just never know whether something like that slows him down, but the coaches said they were going to play him. He wants to play. He's been getting better every day of practice. If he's healthy, he's marvelous in this kind of coverage. Man-to-man with a slot, he can do it.
Amundsen is brought down in a hurry by James Allen, number 34. 2-year letter winner out of Jefferson High School. This guy, a couple of career picks, been had 2 tackles for loss against Arizona last week.
Look at those guns on that guy.
Boy, I'm telling you.
You know, he and Michael Collier were high school teammates at Jefferson, and they talk about how hard those 2 guys used to hit in high school. They just had wars going on to see who could hit the hardest.
You know, Todd, in this conference, is there another team besides the Ducks down 17-0 in somebody else's stadium who still believes absolutely they can win?
Probably not. Oregon's got not only the passing attack, but they also have the confidence when trailing.
Harrington complete. Keenan Howry with a first down. Carlisle makes the tackle, but Keenan Howry with another big catch and a first down. This is a guy who caught that game-winning touchdown in the Sun Bowl with about a minute and a half left. Keenan Howry, the true sophomore from Los Alamitos.
And a great job by Harrington of pocket patience. The original play was not open. He stayed with it, had good protection. You can see he looks a couple of people off. He looks about 4 different ways, finally finds the guy that is open, Keenan Howry. And Keenan now extends his streak of catching the ball now in 22 straight.
Harrington trying to move the Ducks down the field. Ducks have dominated this game as far as time of possession, but have yet to find any way to get points on the scoreboard. And now staying inbounds, nicely done. That's Jason Willis. He's knocked out of bounds by the linebacker, Darnell Robinson, but not until he gets to the 47-yard line, and another first down for Oregon.
Well, and there was not much of a window of opportunity there because Keith Hayward-Johnson had great coverage, came inside. Harrington threw it the only place he could to complete that ball to Jason Willis. You got to say good defense, but good offense as well.
Joey Harrington throws BBs. I'll tell you, he really, when he gets his arm going.
He and Jonathan Smith, best 2 pocket passers in the league.
Well, Jonathan a lot of times gets out of that pocket. They move him around a little bit. I think Joey probably has a little bit better touch.
Look out here, Morris. Another first down. He's tackled by Robinson, but not until he gets to the 40-yard line, almost the 39 of the Beavers.
Joey throws a lot of different passes, more passes than Jonathan does in Oregon State's offense.
Here's a good draw play here, and you can see Morris, his ability to weave and cut and find a hole. And now at the end of the play, falling forward. And so Oregon, for the second time today, this is 2 drives back-to-back where they've been in Oregon State territory, but they've been unable to come up with points.
Nice block there by Jeff Austin, the center, helping free Morris to get the first down. 1st and 10, inside 8 minutes left here in this first half. Harrington to throw. Looking down the field, and it's complete. What a catch by Marshawn Tucker. And what a great throw again by Harrington.
Well, you get the feeling Oregon is down, and suddenly something happens to this guy.
Yep.
And all his throws have been much better now. They've been razor sharp. He's thrown the out pattern, he's thrown the curl pattern, and now he throws the fade pattern right on the money.
Captain Comeback, he's wearing a cape.
Look at that. You got to throw it over that outside shoulder, and Tucker has just had a sensational last 3 games. He has really come on strong. 27 catches now in the last 3+ games. And Harrington and Tucker right now are hot for Oregon.
Well, that was excellent coverage again. Beautiful pass, beautiful catch.
Willis and Howry to the left side, and it's Tucker to the right. And it's the quarterback draw, and it's a touchdown for the Ducks. Joey Harrington has those fans up in the end zone, cheering as the Ducks are on the scoreboard for the first time today.
Quarterback draw. We've seen that now a couple of times in the last few weeks by Oregon. Spread the defense, and your lead blocker is actually your tailback here. Watch this. Harrington, 3 steps. Your lead blocker is actually a fullback, Josh Line. He gets a pretty good block on Allen. Allen unable to get good solid base there, and Harrington just on momentum alone. Remember, he's a big guy. He's 6'4", 220.
And here's Frankel on to try the point after. This one's up and through. Frankel, 32 of 34 on PATs this year. And with 7:38 left here in this first half, the Ducks are right back in it. Beavers still lead, though, 17-10.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
It's a special edition of College Football Saturday. On Friday, bitter rivals duel in the desert. Arizona State battles Arizona with bowl hopes hanging in the balance. And on Saturday, the number #1 team takes center stage as Josh Heupel leads Oklahoma's national championship drive against arch-foe Oklahoma State. A weekend of action kicks off Friday with the pregame show, only on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome back to Reser Stadium, where 5th-ranked Oregon trails 8th-rated Oregon State 17-7. Scott Lynn along with Todd McKim and Steve Priest. Hope you're enjoying this football game as we get ready to start the second half. A surprise, gentlemen?
I don't think so. Oregon State taking advantage of the emotion early in the game and 2 turnovers to rack up an early 17-0 lead. Then Oregon got their legs underneath them a little bit, literally and figuratively, and got back in the football game.
And Steve, Oregon State really trails in almost every statistical category except the scoreboard.
Well, that's it. That's the truth. I'm surprised that the Ducks are doing such a great job defensively against the run. Oregon State only has 15 yards.
All right, let's check out those first half highlights. Obviously, Oregon State got on the scoreboard first. Jonathan Smith and Robert Prescott.
Well, this is a combination that worked twice for touchdowns already in this game. The slot, that's where Oregon State was going to attack. Slot on safety, speed advantage for the Beavers. Here you see the second one, bit longer. Big average for Prescott. He's got to be in the 30-yard range.
And then as we talked in the first half, at that point the Ducks are down, and that's when Harrington turned it on. And he was razor sharp, but got a lot of help from the running game as well. Maurice Morris finally got on track. The Ducks over 100 yards rushing in the first half. And then Harrington to Marshawn Tucker, a beautiful throw down the sideline, and then Harrington completing the 81-yard drive with the quarterback draw for the score, and the Ducks at that point back in the game, trailing only 17-7. Taking a look at the numbers there, as you mentioned, Scott, Oregon leading in most of the numbers except one big area, turnovers. The Ducks with 2. The first one directly led to a touchdown for Oregon State. Jake Cookus with 2 interceptions, both picks, resulting in Oregon State points.
Well, I think the rushing yardage is really interesting, Todd. If you were going to guess before this game, you certainly would have thought the Beavers would be the ones on the 103-yard side. And, of course, that's the possession issue. You see the big possession advantage. That's because they're running the football pretty well.
Just about ready to start the second half. Obviously, Oregon State trying to gain a share of the Pac-10 championship, and Oregon trying to end up with sole possession. Here's your quarterback comparison. Harrington, 26 attempts. That's a lot of attempts, Todd.
It is a lot of attempts, but they've run the football as well, so you say they have balanced 260 yards of total offense, but he got off to the slow start, and those 2 interceptions playing a key role in this game. You just sense, though, with Harrington, if the Ducks are close, he will find a way for them to win the football game.
Absolutely. And, the Ducks are close. They're within 10. With the 2 interceptions, they're still in the football game.
University of Oregon trying to cap a fantastic season. So are the Beavers. Both these teams in the top 10. Coach Dennis Erickson, the miracle worker here in Corvallis. The fans here very excited as Dan Katz gets ready to kick to the Beavers. Prescott and Walker are back, and this is Prescott who will take it at about the 12. A lot of room for him to run. He's again across the 35, and a flag thrown on the return. Garrett Graham again with the tackle, number 42. But again, Oregon State would have great field position, but it depends on what the flag is all about.
Well, it's going to be dropped way back there. Take the Beavers inside their 20.
Penalties certainly a factor here today.
Well, the total yardage is in favor of the officials. They have the most total yards in the game.
Boy, that's for sure, Tom.
During the return, 10-yard penalty, first down 10.
Yep. You always want to, if you look at the first half possessions for the Beavers.
Started better than it finished.
It sure did. It sure did. Oregon's played very inspired defense. Once they got their feet on the ground, they're playing very well.
Jonathan Smith coming back to go to work. Ball at the 15-yard line of Oregon State, 1st and 10. Simonton alongside in the backfield, inside handoff to Simonton. No, instead it's a throw, and the pass intended for Prescott, and they just don't hook up.
Well, first down pass, we thought we'd see more of that from the Beavers in the second half because the run game isn't there, but that was a case where Smith just missed an open receiver. Prescott was wide open.
Wide open, easy pass to throw.
Jonathan a little frustrated there, and Simonton's the guy. I mean, let's face it, he's the emotional guy for Oregon State. You'd like to get your emotional guy involved in the football, giving him some positive vibes.
Absolutely.
And look at that, your Pac-10 leader with just 10 yards rushing in the first half. Morris, on the other hand, having a big day. Hand off Simonton, going to try to run it. Gets around the corner, big run. Ken Simonton's biggest run of the day, first down out to the 40. He's brought down by Rasuli Webster.
And a great block by Mitch White, the right tackle on Oregon's rover back, Ryan Mitchell. Watch this on the left-hand portion of the screen. 77 on 24. See you later.
Yep, excellent block. Mitch, a JC player, came in, 2-year starter. JC All-American, just a fine football player. Has really sewed up that right side of the Beaver line for the last 2 years.
Forget what game it was, Steve, but Simonton had only 1 yard in the first half, then came on strong. Which game was it?
Well, that was last week at Arizona. He ended up with 79. Most of it was in the fourth quarter.
Simonton again. Big hole. Picks up a 3 or 4.
The Ducks changed defenses. They took out a rover. Ryan Mitchell took out a defensive back and brought in Wesley Mallard, an outside linebacker. So they were in a 4-4-3 instead of a 4-3-4 that time, trying to beef up against the run.
Jason Nicolau with the tackle on that last play. But still, pick up a 3. There is Wesley Mallard, the junior from Columbus, Georgia. He's the guy that knocked the helmet off the Arizona player. Caused a bit of a controversy. Smith, hands off. Big hole. Simonton just short of the first down at midfield. Out to about the 49-yard line. And they're making the stop. Number 39. That is Kevin Mitchell.
And this is what Simonton does. He can hit the hole faster than anybody in the league with power.
This is a big situation for the Beavers. They really need to keep this drive going and establish something in the second half. The first half, the second quarter at least, was all Oregon. The Beavers need to get it back.
This is 3rd down and 2. Ducks have done a nice job in these situations so far today. Hand off Simonton. No, he's not going to make it. The Ducks defense has held.
I think that was Saul Patu, the right defensive end, coming around the backside. Doing a nice job making the tackle, but at the point of attack, Zach Frater and Jed Boyce, the 2 defensive tackles, hold their ground, along with Matt Smith. Look at that, taking on Benny Johnson, stuffs it.
Punting situation, Fessler on to punt, and Keenan Howery will go back and stand on his 10-yard line. The Ducks are going to get it down 10 after having held on defense the first go-round here in the 3rd quarter. Fessler gets it away nicely. It's going to bounce on the 3 and go into the end zone. The Ducks will have it out at the 20 when we come back.
The Ducks will take over first.
We're early in the 3rd quarter. The Ducks have held on D, and now the offense will get the ball and a chance to cut into the Oregon State lead, which is 10.
Magnolia Hi-Fi is the Northwest quality car stereo alternative. With top brands, dazzling displays, expert installation. Come in now for hot sale prices. Magnolia Hi-Fi.
Oregon State's defense does its job here to start the 3rd quarter. The Beavers still lead 17-7, but the D, Todd, did a nice job.
And there's Don Pelham, Oregon's linebacker coach, talking to his linebackers there, Sable, Mallard, telling them, hey, we can't lose containment. Use that rip move. Get away from those blockers.
1st and 10 for the Ducks at the 20. The handoff to Morris. He had a big first half. He's going to pick up 1 or 2 here, but the Beavers say that's about all. Coming up to stop him. Beavers defensively really took a little bit of a shellacking there in the first half, even though they gave up just 7 points, as you can see. The 1 touchdown there on an 81-yard drive, but 260 yards in total offense for the Ducks in the first half. The Beavers on the year are doing a better job, averaging less than 300 yards allowed in total offense for the season. So the Ducks did a nice job doing everything except putting points on the scoreboard.
Look at the field goal there. Obviously, this field goal would have made it a 1-possession game.
Crowd very much into it, as you would expect here in the Civil War. Harrington to throw all kinds of time. Almost picked off. Cookus almost had another one.
Boy, he's playing big today. Wow.
He really is. And we have an injured player, Keith Hayward Johnson. Looks like maybe a hamstring or something as he trots off to the field. Dangerous throw here. Double coverage. And the safety, Cookus, was all over that ball. And maybe should have had the hat trick.
Well, he is a big play guy. He made the big play at Cal twice a couple weeks ago.
What is it about former quarterbacks? And that, Steve, you ought to know, there's some pretty good defensive
They read the quarterback's mind, you know.
3rd down and 8. The Oregon State fans cheering on the defensive effort now as Harrington to throw. Got a guy open. Did he catch it? Yes, 1st down. Whoa, what a nice play. That was Marshawn Tucker making the catch on the sideline.
Excellent throw, excellent route right here. Knew exactly where he had to be.
Good job of the tight end, too. We got a max protection here. The tight end stays in. Look at him blocking over there with the fullback to keep DeLawrence Grant out of the face of the quarterback and the 1 foot in. There.
Maybe.
Yeah. Barely.
Very close. Nice job by Marshawn Tucker. So 1st and 10 out of the eye now. Line and Morris. Morris gets the handoff. Oh, what a great block. But the Beaver defenders fight off the tackle and make the tackle, I should say, on Morris with no gain whatsoever. Boy, DeLawrence Grant got taken out by a big-time block.
But DeLawrence, we haven't seen him much on a pass rush. There's been 1 sack early on, I believe. Only one other time I can remember all day where there's any pressure on Joey Harrington.
We're seeing a lot of max protection, though, with the tight end and the linebacker. A lot of 3-man routes. Sometimes it's only 2-man routes for Oregon to protect their quarterback.
The pitch to Morris. And he is going to be dropped for a loss. Terrence Carroll coming up from the safety spot.
You don't want to stutter.
He who hesitates, huh?
You got it.
Yeah, Grant and Jackson and Allen, those guys are all just too fast. And, you know, your safeties are going to be up there, too. There's Terrence Carroll. He turns the play back in and then makes the tackle. The leading tackler for Oregon State this year. That's one reason why.
Just nice play. Nice leverage by the entire defensive line. They just kind of stood there with their hands and played it out the way it's supposed to. And now you got another big 3rd down play.
You saw Grant. He's caused 4 fumbles this year, the most for any Oregon State player. And now timeout's going to be called in order to save a penalty, because I think the 25-second clock was ticking down to almost 0. So Harrington forced to take a timeout, and boy, the Ducks did not want to use that one there. We're going to take a quick break and come right back. The Ducks with the football. It's still a game. Don't go anywhere here in the Civil War.
He's at the 40, the 30, the 20. He could go over.
Has your car been sacked by a 1-ton linebacker? Send in the special teams at West 11th Car Star. West 11th Car Star for complete quality collision repair. Plus, they're the only collision service company that backs up their work with a 5-year nationwide guarantee. Don't fumble this season. See the pros at West 11th Car Star. West 11th Car Star, 344-8252. It's up to you to make the call.
Courtroom isn't the end of marriage problems. Just ask single mothers, confused children, and lonely fathers. If you're having marriage problems, consider this. Even if you think you'll never be able to love your spouse again, your relationship can be restored. But only when you both agree to let God's healing power into your lives. We're always so ready to try divorce. While there's still time, why not try giving your marriage to God? You may like the verdict.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
Welcome back to Corvallis. Oregon State now with the football. 1st and 10 on the 41. 9:19 left here in the third quarter. Number 35, Ken Simonton. The Beavers have come out in the third quarter trying to establish the running game. And Simonton, who had only 10 yards rushing in the first half. And look, on the year, 1,400 yards again. First Pac-10 player ever to rush for 1,000 yards as a freshman, sophomore, and junior. Has a chance to become the only Pac-10 player ever to do it 4 years in a row next year. But the Beavers are going to try to establish him, I think, and the Ducks know it, and they stop him right there.
Well, they stop him, and, you know, you look at Simonton, he's had the great overall year, but maybe it's the emergence of Patrick McCall, maybe it's the groin injury and some of the injuries that Kenny has had, but in his first 4 games, he averaged 177 yards rushing, carried the ball an average of 31 times. The last 6 games, he's carried an average of 19 times for 108 yards. So you can see the emergence of Patrick McCall, maybe less a chance for Kenny to carry the football and factor in the injuries as well, but he's not been the same guy the last couple of weeks.
Picked up 2 on that last play. It'll be 2nd and 8. Smith rolling out, throws. Marty Maurer has the first down and almost kept his feet. He's down at about the 34-yard line. And it's going to be a 1st and 10. Marty Maurer out of Jacksonville, Oregon, Cascade Christian High School. His dad, of course, Andy. What a great player he was through the years for the Ducks.
Well, you watch this play. Nice little bootleg situation. Fake the pass. Jonathan just gets outside enough where he's got an easy throw. And I think that's important, getting Jonathan Smith off. He starts out 4 for 4, Scott. He was 6 for 16 before that. So he's 2 of his last 12 prior to that throw.
They marked it out of bounds at the 40, so that's where it is 1st and 10. And again, handoff Simonton, nothing doing. Duck defense not allowing anything to happen. I see Matt Smith coming up to help with a stop. Well, I'll tell you, 35's making it up, trying to get it going, but there's just nothing there. I think Rasuli Webster came up from the free safety spot, too.
I was just going to say, the Ducks have more guys in the box than the Beavers can block him. You see Webster off the edge. There's nobody there to block him, and if he reads the play correctly, he's supposed to make that tackle. If he doesn't, you know, he's in trouble.
Coach Aliotti's got him coming every time. They're just guessing with these beats.
So the Beavers send Hushmanzada in motion. And a quick pass. Oh, what a nice catch by Maurer. And he's very close to a 1st down. I think he has it, depending on the spot.
Nice throw by Jonathan Smith. Great catch.
Small margin for error because Matt Smith had pretty good defensive coverage.
Puts the ball anywhere else, there's no chance to catch it there.
1st down, Beavers.
Nice throw.
I agree with you, Steve. They're giving him some passes that he can complete, get the confidence back, get the rhythm back. You know how a quarterback needs to get a rhythm established, and that's what he's done with his last 2 throws.
Watch for the inside handoff here to Simonton. The Beavers have tried to establish that running game.
Well, they bring everybody.
Yes, sir. They're bringing everybody. And here's another pass complete. And that's Prescott, and he has a 1st down, I believe. Yes, sir.
Again, working on a safety. Slot man isolated on this case. Johnson, who has come in, number 13, right here underneath him. Linebacker can't get back there quick enough to get in the passing lane. And now Jonathan 3 for 3.
The Ducks, through the last couple of Civil Wars, know if you stop stop Ken Simonton, you have a better chance of winning. Last year held him to just 63 yards, whereas, of course, 2 years ago here in Corvallis, he just went off for 4 touchdowns. And now Simonton looking for room to go. Ken Simonton, touchdown, Beavers!
Ken Simonton at his best.
No hole, I'll just wait a moment till one develops, or if there isn't one, I'll go around the outside.
Well, he had the 4 touchdowns in the double overtime win 2 years ago, and you know, we saw the whole package here with Kenny Simonton. The vision, the quick feet, and the burst.
Oh, boy.
50th touchdown of his career, all rushing.
Good block outside. Mitch White again. Excellent job. You know, one thing that we talk about all the time with this, and you see it right there with TJ, the receivers on this team block incredibly well.
No, good. There's the upset of the day. Ryan Seska misses a point after for the first time in his career.
80 consecutive point afters, and he misses an extra point. You hate to see streaks come to an end.
Oregon fans, though, are glad to see something go against the Beavers, who lead it now by 16 midway through the third quarter. Don't go away.
Not in the house.
You've seen our ads, maybe even called for information. Now the time is right for a fresh look at today's manufactured home. Call 1-800-35-OWNER for a free buyer's guide. Get the latest tips on financing and shopping for a manufactured home. Call 1-800-35-OWNER and get a free video, too. So call 1-800-35-OWNER now or visit our website. Today's manufactured home. Built for living, built for life.
It's a special edition of College Football Saturday. On Friday, bitter rivals duel in the desert. Arizona State battles Arizona with bowl hopes hanging in the balance. And on Saturday, the #1 team takes center stage as Josh Heupel leads Oklahoma's national championship drive against arch foe Oklahoma State. A weekend of action kicks off Friday with the pregame show, only on Fox Sports.
Ryan Seska about to kick off here for Oregon State, missing the point after for the first time in his career. That's an Oregon State record, 80 straight to start his career. He had said, hey, I never want to miss one. Well, he has missed one here, but his team is still up by 16 in the Civil War. This is the Ducks return team out to about the 25. And oh boy, what a hit there. Amundsen really took a pop.
Noah Happy again.
Yeah, it was Noah Happy.
Wow.
That's the third or fourth tackle he's made on special teams today. There's Ken Simonton. Simonton, who scored on the 20-yard run, 57 yards rushing here in the quarter for Simonton. He had the final 20 of a 59-yard drive right there. 50 career touchdowns for Simonton. Man, he is special, and he still has another year to go.
Absolutely. Great football player. You know, the one thing about that extra point is it does mean it's a 16-point game. So technically 2 touchdowns, 2 extra points, 4 scores, if you will, can tie the football game.
So Harrington back to work in a situation in which the Ducks trail. They've been in this position before. And there he finds his receiver. This is Marshawn Tucker out to near midfield. Calvin Carlisle stops him. But here we go. The Ducks on the comeback trail.
It's been a real emotional roller coaster for Oregon fans the last 4 weeks since that double overtime victory over Arizona State. And again, when you think they're down and buried, they come back. And great pass protection by the front 5 or 6 guys, counting the tight end. And Tucker, just a crossing route, and Harrington with a lot of time to find him open in that zone.
Steve, maybe you could address this, but these two coaches with their offenses, they're great systems, very effective in college football.
Oh, absolutely. Very effective. They're both balanced. They both run, they both pass. You know, totally different systems, but they are both balanced.
Nice. There's some of the running you're talking about. Morris steps out of bounds, chased out of bounds there by Terrence Carroll.
They're proven systems. These guys put just enough trickery in them that they make it very tough for anybody to prepare for them. And they're well coached. They are excellent staffs on both these coaching staffs.
Terrence Carroll, 9 career interceptions. He's had 4 this year, 2 in the San Diego State game. This is a 5th-year senior out of Houston, Texas. Boy, has he been big. Of course, he had 12 tackles in last year's Civil War game, leading the Beavers in that category. First down for the Ducks on the 41 of Oregon State. Play action to Morris to throw, and it's nearly intercepted by James Allen. A pass intended for Josh Line, the fullback. Boy, Josh Line's getting all the action today.
You know, normally an offensive coordinator will say, I like a matchup of a back on a linebacker. But with James Allen, you don't have an advantage. You got a linebacker that's faster. This one, little underthrown. It needs to be thrown to the outside shoulder. That's a little bit to the inside. James Allen was able to get back into the play. Not many teams will throw to a fullback deep down the field, and Oregon has been able to do that this year with Josh Line.
It's a nice weapon.
Oh, great weapon.
Surprising to the linebacker. He isn't expecting it either, but experience there. James Allen played a lot.
That ball tipped up in the air and intercepted by Richard Siegler.
Wow.
The ball tipped in the air, and Siegler with his 3rd interception of the year.
That was athletic. Wow, that was an athletic play.
That was tremendous because that ball was not tipped very high into the air, and he was rushing the passer, or at least spying. 3rd interception by the Beavers. Harrington had come into the game throwing only 8 all year, but 3 today. The tip ball.
Who was it? I
could not tell. Could not tell on the replay.
It looked like a 7 number.
It looked like Charles O'Neal.
Yeah, Charles O'Neal right there.
It is. Charles O'Neal.
Junior college player, came in a couple years ago and has moved his way up into that 2nd spot. behind Atkinson. There he is.
Senior out of Barstow, California. Only has 4 tackles all year, kind of limited duty, but he's all smiles now after making a big play in the Civil War game.
Beavers wasted a timeout right there. Similar situation, just weren't prepared.
And there's Richard Siegler. He's all happy as well. He should be. His interception has given the Beavers the ball back, still leading it 23-7.
Record sales of new cars and trucks at Garrity in Junction City means incredible savings in our used car and truck superstore, too. At Garrity, there's superstore savings and superstore selection on everything from the fuel-efficient cars to family sedans, sports cars, minivans, and of course our specialty, tough trucks from all major manufacturers. All Garrity certified used vehicles include a limited warranty and our free 5-day driving trial exchange, too. At Garrity, we care about our customers before and after the sale. Thousands of happy customers can't be wrong, so hurry to Garrity in Junction City today.
Remember when gas was 25 cents a gallon and milk was delivered to your doorstep? Well, some things have changed, but not the quality and old-fashioned service you receive at Long's Meat Market. They've been serving Eugene the highest quality beef, lamb, pork, and specialty meats for over 50 years. Celebrate the holidays with Long's Choice Meats. As always, phone orders are welcomed at 344-3172. Long's Meat Market, off Willamette Street in the L&L Marketplace.
You're watching Fox Sports Net.
Oh boy, are the fans a little fired up here in Corvallis, at least those in the orange and black. Oh boy, I'll tell you, Beaver fever has spread throughout the Willamette Valley all the way over to Eugene, and then it stops about the time you cross the city border there.
You get down to Monroe in Junction City. Kind of fun in those places. Driving up today, a lot of orange and black and a lot of green and yellow there.
No question.
Be an interesting stopping ground on the way back.
Jonathan Smith, 50% completion rate on the day, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. This is McCall. Patrick McCall is the Beavers. I'll tell you what, if you don't watch intently, you don't know who's coming out of that backfield because they mix up Simonton and McCall all the time. This time, Garrett Sable made a big save.
And as a defensive player, it's incredible. You're waiting for Simonton with his kind of little moves and all of a sudden a burst, and then a guy goes flying by you, and it's Patrick McCall. It helps them both.
And Sable looks like he might be dinged up here. Well, he's had a calf problem, hasn't he?
Calf, and he also had a shoulder problem earlier this year, too.
And he looks like he was somewhat injured on that play. We'll see if he can get back in. 8-yard pickup, 2nd down and 2. This is McCall. Oh! That ball, it looks like a flag is thrown here.
McCall, the ball carrier.
And he is stopped short of the first down. Boy, the Duck D firing up right here.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a
There's
good hit.
That was hitting? Yeah, I didn't know if that was a flag or somebody's mouthpiece. I mean,
holding against Oregon State, but I think you're right.
Out of there.
Somebody's head.
Oh. Look at Zach Frater. He's a pretty stout guy. From
Yes,
Milwaukee, Oregon, 6'3", about 280. Probably the strongest physically on the team.
You know, you talked earlier about the big plays, and, you know, to put a number on it, I mean, the Ducks have allowed 25 big plays for almost 1,300 yards. That's coming into this football game. You know, non-big plays, they only average about 3 yards a play, but the big plays have averaged almost 52 yards.
Penalty enforced from the previous spot, 10 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
Well, taking that one step further, they've given up about 50% of their yards on only a handful of plays, like 4 or 5% of the plays.
Yeah.
And it's funny that that's how the Beavers offense has been.
Yes. Big
Same
plays.
kind of thing.
That's kind of been the last year and this year. Yeah.
The Duck defense, even with all of that, still allowed more than 17 points in games only 3 times this year, this being the 4th. So now it's 2nd down and 13. Beavers have to get to the 47. Smith to throw, pressure coming, gets rid of it, and that's a first down. Hushmanzada with the catch, beating Steve Smith.
Oregon State staff has done a great job this half of getting that guy, Jonathan Smith, into rhythm, as you mentioned earlier, Todd, giving him passes that he can complete. Great pass pattern, wasn't it?
Oh.
Wow. Turned him around.
Well, I'll tell you something, the Beavers are going to miss that guy next year. What a big play guy he's been all season.
Well, they're going to miss all 3 wide receivers. The 3
Yes.
starting wide receivers, all seniors, although I do know they have some good freshmen in the fold, but experience a factor. Lose the tight end, Marty Mauer, as well.
Frater is quick.
McCall got out of trouble. How did he do that? Picks up about 4 or 5 when there's nothing there.
Well, that's the speed factor. You underestimate how fast he is.
Matt Smith chased him out of bounds, but there was nothing there.
He got away from, I think it was Kevin Mitchell, number 39. Watch over here to the left-hand side. 39. He's got him in his sights.
Oh, yeah.
Just too fast.
Great move by McCall. He'll be back next year. The Beavers do have their quarterback and 2 running backs that'll be back. Boy, you're right. Talking about the receivers, there'll be a lot of new blood in there running pass patterns.
And the offensive line, they have to replace 3 guys as well.
Inside handoff to McCall. This time not a whole lot going. Picked up maybe 2, 3rd down and 2. Dennis Erickson, of course, we mentioned earlier, has not defeated the Ducks yet. But today his team is in front. What a job this guy has done. And again, we talk about it and you hate to even bring it up, but he's being mentioned for jobs at Arizona State, possible openings at USC and Arizona, and every team that's got an opening is going to call him first.
Why not?
He's been successful.
He's a proven winner. Yeah, and he's moved before, so they do it. But I'll tell you, folks, he ain't going nowhere. He's happy here. He loves it. Mitch Barnhart and Paul Risser are taking care of him. Kids love him. Boy,
Matt Smith, what a play.
Big play.
Just shot the gap behind the pulling guard, and that's scouting and instincts and athleticism.
And he is one of the great athletes out of Grants Pass, Oregon, a guy who was, what, all-state in 3 sports?
Well, I do know this. He's the wealthiest player on the field today. He had the $1 million signing bonus for the Kansas City Royals, but he's got a good head on his shoulder, good instinct. This guy's got 4 interceptions as a linebacker and 3 fumble recoveries.
See, that's amazing. How do you get 4 picks as a middle linebacker? I just don't get it.
Well, Ziegler's got 3.
Well, now he does. You're right. Oh, boy, that's a dangerous play. And the Beavers are going to down it inside the 10 at the 7-yard line. Barnett spots it. And the Beavers have pinned the Ducks down deep. We'll be right back. 23-7, the Beavers leading the Ducks.
It's here, waiting for you. Inside is unlimited strength and power. It builds confidence and reshapes your body. It can change everything. This is Bowflex, an entire gym in one easy-to-use machine. So powerful, it delivers over 60 health club quality exercises with up to 410 pounds of resistance, all in the convenience of your own home. Strength training with Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. And you can own one with no money down and payments as low as $33 per month. Bowflex is real. The results are real. The question is, are you ready for Bowflex? For a free video and brochure, call or go online at BowflexDirect.com. Do the research, listen to real customers, then place your order online and get started. Bowflex. Who said change isn't easy?
Oregon now with the football, 1st and 10 on the Ducks 7-yard line. 3:34 left here in this 3rd quarter, and Harrington airing it out. Marshawn Tucker is down there and almost made a tremendous catch, defended by Ricky Walker.
Nice play by Ricky Walker. You know, Keith Hayward-Johnson has not been back in the game since he hopped off with what appeared to be a hamstring. Ricky Walker is a guy who came here as a running back, started for a while at running back, came in to play the cornerback position, has always played a lot. Not necessarily a starter, but he has started, and he always plays well.
The Beavers have been very fortunate in not having many injuries this year. The Ducks, on the other hand, have had a few.
They have had a few, but they feel they get their best players on the field today. You know, you look at the Oregon State secondary, you talk about backups. Ricky Walker and Cookus, a couple of backups, playing well.
So 2nd down coming up. Play action to Morris. Harrington throws, and no good, intended for Tucker, but boy, nothing but black shirts around him.
Terrence Carroll now in.
Oh, my goodness. Terrence Carroll hopping off the field, and Calvin Carlisle comes back in.
Now what happens is Jake Cookus will go from the free safety to strong safety. Carlisle will go back. What?
I'll tell you something. Carlisle, it looks to me like Terrence Carroll will not be back. I mean, he's being helped off here.
And that was a collision with his own man.
Oh, boy. That could be a big loss for the Beavers. Still a lot of time in this football game. You saw Bo Marthaler. He might get in here before long. 3rd down and 10. From his end zone, Harrington throws. Got a nice Oh, boy, what a nice route that is for a first down. Keenan Howery, another big catch.
Boy,
and is he cool standing back in the end zone?
Well, that was the third straight time that they had one-on-one coverage down here. In the previous two plays, they'd run streak patterns, so maybe Ricky was a little concerned about the deep ball. This, he turns him around. Nice throw and a nice job by Howery of sight adjustment to come back. That is a huge first down. If Oregon has to punt that ball from their own end zone and the Beavers get the ball out around midfield, they would be in big trouble.
Oregon, Harrington.
Just about to say Oregon State, of course, leading the Pac-10 with 19 interceptions this year. 2 here today. 3 here today to make that 20 interceptions. And this is going to be just out of reach of Marshawn Tucker. Are you kidding me?
And look at the reaction of Joey Harrington.
Oh, boy. So close and yet so far.
You know, this is really not Mike Bellotti-ish, if you will.
All right. Tune in tomorrow at 7 for Northwest Sports Tonight, presented by Verizon. The issues, stories, and headlines that affect the Northwest local teams, as well as features on your teams. Northwest Sports Tonight, tomorrow night, and every weeknight at 7 on Fox Sports Net.
By that, I mean, Todd, Mike Bellotti typically third quarter still. That's 3 out of 4 play streaks. I'm surprised at that.
4 straight pass plays, and you notice right now we're seeing all max protection. 2 tight ends, 2-man routes, only 2 receivers out on the pattern. They're throwing deep again, and again the guy's open though.
And it's caught. Oh, what a catch by Sammy Parker.
Well, they're going to force Oregon State to change their defensive coverage right now. They're going to have to go to a different look because right now they're picking on Ricky Walker, and they've run, you know, streaks on him. They ran the little out with Keenan Howery. Look at this, 2 tight ends in to protect plus the back. So you're blocking with 8 guys, 2 receivers. That's it. And a great catch by Sammy Parker, who's probably the fastest receiver on the Oregon squad.
A 43-yard reception, a new career high for Sammy Parker. That is 9th catch of the year. 8 different receivers have made catches here today for Oregon.
And we're not seeing press coverage on the outside either.
1st and 10 at the 35. It is the reverse. This is Sammy Parker with it, and DeLawrence Grant trips him up. Gain of a couple, but that had all the makings of a much bigger play.
Nice contained by DeLawrence Grant there. He stayed where he was supposed to, kept the play inside of him, turned it in. Nice effort.
Oh, look who's blocking him. Number 3, the quarterback.
No wonder it was a nice effort.
Harrington went down low, and DeLawrence Grant, you'll see it right there. The block by Harrington, kind of a typical quarterback block there.
Do I have to separate you two up here? I don't know. I'll tell you, I love Joey Harrington's game. He's a cool cucumber, boy.
And a battler.
Yep. 2nd down, 8 here. Throwing. Intended for Justin Fields. It's off again. It's the trifecta for Jake Cookus.
Wow, that was a great interception.
And Justin Peel is yelling that he was held because the ball was overthrown. Cookus in the right spot. Just look at that. 3, the hat trick, trifecta.
Well, I'll tell you, has he been big today?
Oh.
7 career interceptions now, 3 of them on the day. Did Darnell Robinson hold them or not?
I don't think that's enough to call.
No, I don't either.
Yeah.
You know, Dennis Erickson, when asked about an injury a year ago to DeLawrence, and then yesterday it asked about the injuries to Calvin Carlisle. He says, I'm sorry, the injuries are part of football. That's why we have backups. That's what it's for. I don't have injuries on my football team.
Jake Cookus, of course, led the Roseburg Indians to a couple of undefeated seasons. He is a winner as well, and today 3 interceptions, and now Simonton back in the game. Picks up a couple of yards, but boy, the yards are coming very tough. There's number 31, Jake Cookus.
Well, a native Oregonian playing in the Civil War. It's amazing how many times you see these guys rise to the occasion. He's done a great job of playing center field, so to speak. He got 1 interception on a deflection, but he's made 2 great plays, and this last one just a superb catch.
Absolutely. You know, it's nice that with these success of these 2 programs now, it's nice that you'll see Oregon players staying in Oregon. Verbal commitments already out of several great in-state players.
Including a couple of great quarterbacks.
Smith to throw. He's got Prescott, 1st down. Close to the 30-yard line. Call it the 29, 1st and 10. Robert Prescott. He is a gamer as well.
This is a guy last year who dropped a lot of balls. And he came back this year and really started catching the ball better. Then he had the off-field experience that cost him 3 games of his senior year. And he has come back and been a great senior leader. He is an incredible blocker downfield.
He has moved ahead of Greg Ainsworth up to number 9 now on the OSU chart. 8 catches today, 106 yards. 110 catches now in his career. Simonton looking for one of those big hogs to lead the way, and he picks up a couple.
I'll tell you, Oregon's playing the run great. I'll tell you.
And you know this is a tough physical game when you see shoes on the field. Guys are getting knocked out of their shoes.
When their socks are knocked off, now you know you got something.
I didn't know a center could move fast enough to move his shoe. They call them mules, right? That's what the offensive linemen call them.
Well, I'll tell you, Ken Simonton will tell you, those guys right there in the picture deserve all the credit for the stuff that he's done. I mean, some of it is God-given talent for number 35, but the line has done a tremendous job for him. Simonton with it again. Oh, what a nice play. Nothing doing back there.
Well, it's feast or famine at this point. You know, the Ducks are...
Keith Lewis with the tackle here.
This guy's going to be a great football player. He's already done a great job on special teams this year. Last week, a big special teams play. Look at Kenny, first half versus second half. And we talked about this, Steve. In the second half, Oregon State consistently this year has busted big runs because they stay with the run. And some of their best runs of the year have been in the fourth quarter. You think UCLA, you think Arizona, the big run by Simonton against New Mexico.
Well, as has happened all year, guys, the Ducks have been outscored in the third quarter today, but there's still a fourth quarter to come. 23-7 is the score. The Beavers lead by 16, but still just 2 possessions difference, so don't go away. Who's having fun here today? Well, Jake Cookus. He's got 3 interceptions, and the Beavers have the lead.
Napa application engineered brakes can stop you 20 feet shorter than ordinary brakes. That's important. Because you can't always count on there being 20 extra feet of road when you need it.
Napa, over 200,000 parts and everyone's important. Visit your Western Washington or Oregon Napa stores today.
It's a special edition of College Football Saturday. On Friday, bitter rivals duel in the desert. Arizona State battles Arizona with bowl hopes hanging in the balance. And on Saturday, the #1 team takes center stage as Josh Heupel leads Oklahoma's national championship drive against arch-foe Oklahoma State. A weekend of action kicks off Friday with the pregame show, only on Fox Sports Net.
Pac-10 football on Fox Sports Net is brought to you by today's manufactured home. Built for living, built for life. And by True Value, help is just around the corner. Corvallis, Oregon, site of the Civil War game, the 104th meeting between the Ducks and the Beavers. Oregon State, number 8 in the nation, leading 5th-ranked Oregon 23-7 for the 4th straight game. The Ducks trail here in the 4th quarter.
They've been able to come back and win all of those games, though, so they still have confidence.
As I say, don't go away, huh?
That's it. 3rd down and 9 here for the Beavers. Smith to throw, slot guy. Oh, it's intercepted! Whoa, Rashad Bowman. Bowman with the pick, his 4th interception of the year, and he knew that that was coming. Well, he did. Great pressure. Jonathan unloaded, ran the slant. That's what you're supposed to throw it.
He just steps right in front of Chad Johnson.
Yep.
We thought maybe the Beavers in that situation would go to the tight end or the slot. They went to the wide receiver, and Rashad Bowman has been a money man. He's their best cover corner, 9 career picks, and maybe Oregon State fortunate that he stumbled on the play. He might have had a touchdown.
Absolutely. In fact, I presumed he did when he picked it.
So it's just 30 yards from the end zone and a touchdown that would make it an oh-so interesting. Harrington with the Ducks in the eye. A little play action to Morris, and Harrington to throw. Is that ball tipped again? Yes, sir.
Yes, it was. Because Marshawn Tucker was wide open, running a crossing route. He was in front of the safety. So a couple of tipped balls here.
You know, we talk about Joey Harrington, what he does in the 4th quarter, but in truth, somebody's given him the ball. So the Duck defense has to have come in big these last 4 games.
You see, who gets the deflection here? Is it O'Neal again, 71, or DeJuan Edwards, 98? Boy, that's a good job of staying on his feet.
A freshman out of Montana, and he's going to be a great one.
DeJuan Edwards, 6'3", 267. Redshirt freshman. Second down here. Again, trying to show run, but they're going to throw, and it is complete. And just shy of the touchdown, LaCorey Collins.
How did he see that ball? He had his head turned when that ball was thrown, and he turned around just at the right moment, and maybe out of self-defense, caught the ball. What a great throw by Joey Harrington. Boy, it really helps to have a big target at 6'4", over the middle. Harrington, and right now, he finally turns around. Pretty good coverage by Kelvin Carlisle.
What a catch.
Oh,
I'll tell you, Football News semifinalists for Offensive Player of the Year, talking about Joey Harrington. Ken Simonton, also one of the finalists there. And Defensive Player of the Year, Saul Patu. Coach of the Year, Mike Bellotti, also in there. And here are the Ducks trying to get it to within. Did he get in or not? Yes, yes he is. The signal comes from the sidelines. Touchdown. The Ducks are a 2-point conversion away from making it a 1-point game.
8th rushing touchdown of the year for Maurice Morris.
1-point possession, I should say.
Right. You know, there's a lot of time in this game. You know, you think the old sheet says go for 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you miss, you know, then you're really down by 10. You need a touchdown and a field goal. Right. I think you go for 2 here.
Yeah,
the Ducks are going to do that.
You're back in the position. If you miss it, you're back in the position you were supposed to be in if Sneska doesn't miss the kick.
That's right.
One possession game if they can get to 2 here. Tucker, Willis go to the right side.
You can see the option here.
Morris, the running back. Pitch to Morris. And he is stopped. The Beaver defense keeps him out of the end zone.
Little indecision there, and then looked like Ryan Schmidt, number 67, pulling guard, had a nice block, and that there was an alley there, but the speed of the Beaver defense made the difference.
Number 98, DeJuan Edwards, again making a big stop, and now it's still a 10-point game, but a long, long way to go.
Introducing the Acura MDX, taking the SUV to a place it's never been before.
There's Maurice Morris, whose 1-yard touchdown run has brought the Ducks back within 10. The 2-point conversion failed, but the Ducks still very much alive in this football game. The turnover and the Rashad Bowman interception has helped the Ducks stay in this thing, and right now with 14:24 left, it's far from over.
The only turnover of the day committed by Oregon State, and you can see the points off turnovers, and it is the difference in the football game today. 4 interceptions by Oregon State, 1 by Oregon, resulting in their lone touchdown run by Maurice Morris.
21 interceptions now for Oregon State on the year. Of course, that big one there by Bowman, and you see Robert Prescott getting down. Unbelievable.
We
you guys
used to be able to
cool,
do that,
aren't
didn't
they?
we? We used to be able to
yeah,
do
but
that.
we were wearing leisure suits at the time. So Cats will kick it off.
Thank God they brought the band back.
Prescott and Walker back deep. It's going to be short, and Ricky Walker will take it at the 12. 30. 35, a flag on the play. It looked like a block in the back on the return by Oregon State. More penalties.
Boy.
And again, the Beavers are going to be walked back to about the 12-yard line, it looks like. Second time in a row, the Beavers have had nice kickoff returns outside the 35 and end up inside the 20.
I think that might have been the backup tight end, Benny Johnson.
First down, 10.
In the third quarter, Oregon State came back on 134 to 74-yard advantage in total offense, and particularly the running game. They had 72 yards rushing the football to 19 for the Ducks after the Ducks had a significant lead at halftime in that category.
You know, both of these teams have done very well in the fourth quarter throughout the year. The Ducks have outscored their opponents coming into the game 86-55, the Beavers 94-57. So the fourth quarter has pretty much been owned by these two teams, and that's why they're both 9-1. Smith to throw. It's the tight end Maurer. And a first down for the Beavers. Out to the 25-yard line. The tackle there by Michael Collier.
He makes more key catches than anybody, it seems.
Yeah.
You know, you and I, Steve, were talking before the game. You know, one of the biggest receptions in the Dennis Erickson era was in game number 1 last year at Nevada.
Yeah.
And he had the big 74-yard in the fourth quarter when the Beavers were down and on the ropes a little bit. And I mean, that won that football game, and they've kind of been building on that ever since.
The same play right there. Yep. They ran the exact same play, and he was left wide open.
This is Simonton. Wow. Simonton across the 40 to the 44-yard line, and the Beaver fans like it a lot. Ken Simonton stopped by Wesley Mallard eventually, but here's a guy who's looking for yet another 100-yard rushing game. He's had a few in his career, 20 to be exact.
Great block by Johnson right there. Jared Cornell got a little piece of somebody, but Benny Johnson, the tight end, who comes in that two tight end set, just had a great standoff with the outside linebacker.
Simonton, 10 yards in the first half, 78 in the second half, 88 yards on the ground in the game for Ken Simonton. And here goes right back to it. Simonton up the middle, first down into Duck territory. Rasuli Webster had to make the stop.
Well, either they're starting to wear on the defense because they're running the same plays.
Same plays,
It's
absolutely.
the same plays. And this is the stick-to-itiveness of the Oregon State offense. We're going to keep running the ball and keep pounding it at you. And in the fourth quarter, you're going to wear it down, and Simonton's going to be fresh. And we're going to gain yards.
I agree with you.
Fourth quarter scoring, mentioned that a moment ago. That's the 2-year total under Dennis Erickson. Yes, they've done very well. Also want to mention Ken Simonton here as we have a flag. Play is dead. Ken Simonton up 100 yards again for number 35. That's the 21st time in his career, extending his school record. He's Oregon State's career rushing leader, career scoring leader.
Offense,
You go right down the list. He's the guy that's going to own all the records.
Oh, I guess.
When he is all said and done.
And, you know, as much as Joey Harrington and Oregon believes that fourth quarter comebacks are no problem, Oregon State believes that running the ball in the fourth quarter is their game. Be interested to see how these two teams, very willful teams, come out here in the fourth quarter.
Jonathan Smith has been picked 1 time today. Harrington picked 4 times. Going to throw here under some pressure. Smith throws. Got a guy out there off the hands of Bush Manzana.
Boy, that was one that he touched. Pretty good throw.
And a good job by Jonathan Smith of, you know, moving around in the pocket there because the Ducks had collapsed it a little bit, and he did a nice job of avoiding the pressure. That was not an easy throw for him. Just missed.
It was really the kind of throw that it didn't have to be perfect. You'll see this. TJ's running away from a guy, so it didn't have to be a perfect throw. He's got plenty of room there to catch it. Too bad for the Bees.
Kind of caught him mid-stride. I think if he had a chance to get a foot down and leap, he might have been able to make that grab.
Yep.
But it's second down and 15 for the Beavers.
This is a drawdown for the Beavers.
Yes, sir. It's going to be to Bush Manzana in a hurry and incomplete. Smith defending, and a flag thrown, I think, roughing the passer. Smith was blasted after he got rid of the football.
Well, he is a tough cookie. He has played just about every down this year, and he gets hit, and he takes it. Never has come out of a game because of an injury this year.
Smith, of course, the former walk-on.
Over the head. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, that's a big penalty again.
It's a 2nd and 14 or 15 play. You know, you gain a couple of yards, but you're in a 3rd and long, so mental mistake by the Oregon defense. Well over 100 yards in penalties today against Oregon.
Almost had that by halftime.
Yep.
Oregon State the quarterback there, number 9. You talk about the general being the term used for Joey Harrington. This guy's been the little general for the Oregon State Beavers. 5'11", it says in the press book, probably more like 5'9". Simon to the running back. He'll get the handoff, and he almost didn't get the football before he got wrapped up.
Play.
Jed Boyce,
Yes,
Zach
sir.
Frater, as a defensive line stunt. They stunted to the short side of the field. Again, maybe just guessing a little bit what they think Oregon State is going to run or tendencies. Again, the Oregon State running game is not complicated. They're just going to try to out-execute it. And a great jump off the ball by the defensive line.
Well, they only have 5 plays in the running game, period. It's just, you know, the draw, a couple of one side or the other on a stretch, and kind of a little counter, and that's it.
Smith, maybe an audible at the line of scrimmage. Ducks mixing things up back there. Hand to Simonton. And there's going to be a flag called, maybe holding.
Gotta be.
Yeah, where they've thrown the flag, it would appear so. Yes, sir, it is holding, the preliminary indication. That's going to bring it back a bit. It'll be, still be second down if they take the penalty.
Interesting audible, though. He obviously he saw something, had the right play up. Excellent job by Jonathan Smith.
Holding offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Take a look here. Jared Cornell, the right guard. It appears, yeah, he's got a pretty good lock on him. Well, no wonder it was
holding
successful.
He audibled into the...
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a pretty good depth grip there on Seth McEwen, the defensive left end. You know, I asked Marty Maurer this week, who's the MVP offensively of this football team? He says, well, I think we have 2. For the first half of the season, it was Ken Simonton. The second half, Jonathan Smith.
Number 2 all-time in career passing at Oregon State and in total offense behind Eric Wilhelm. Second, 22. Play action wide open over the middle is Maurer. Marty Maurer, the big man of the day.
First down. I don't believe it.
Webster makes the tackle, but Marty Maurer has those fans on their feet.
Second 20.
What a great call.
It was a great call. Hang on to it, Marty.
Ducks in it 2 deep there with the 2 safeties. You go to your tight end across the middle. And you see 49, Matt Smith, he's so concerned about stopping the run that he can't drop back into pass cover.
And that's his cover, without a doubt.
There's Smith. Tough duty for the Duck defense right now. First and 10, Oregon State at the Duck 22. Simonton, there's nowhere for him to go. Boy, Ducks pulling, tugging, trying to get that ball free. Simonton's fumbled 4 times this year and lost them all. A couple of times in that UCLA game.
Well, he goes
another tackle there.
He goes for it. He is absolutely going for it and that's what's caused his fumbles. Is he's just tremendous effort. Sometimes gets hit a little wrong and he loses it.
I'll tell you, Simonton, you look at this guy coming into this game, needed 125 yards for 4,000 for his career.
Phenomenal.
And if he ends up with 125 right on the dot, he would tie his own Oregon State record for yards in the season, 1486. Watch for it right here. Smith throws, ball tipped, I think, yes, and Houshmandzadeh makes the catch. Only going to get a couple of yards, perhaps, but still a completion. The clock continues to run as a result.
That's a good point, because here's the time of the game where Oregon State is in position to kick a field goal, but they want to keep the clock moving as much as possible. And this is an extra 40 seconds late in the game. You know, you talk about the break here or there, and, you know, maybe that's incomplete and 40 more seconds are saved, but that's a good job by Houshmandzadeh to make the catch. The clock continues to move. It'll be interesting to see here how conservative or aggressive Oregon State would be in the play call.
Over 3.5 minutes, the Beavers have had the football, and we're inside 10 minutes in this football game. Smith looking to throw. Now he's in trouble, throws the ball, and it is incomplete, intended for Houshmandzadeh. Nice defensive play by Steve Smith.
Well, that could have exploded or imploded in their face right there.
I'll tell you, Smith was in the grasp of one of those Duck defensive guys.
Take a look. TJ comes from the slot outside. This is a cross pattern. I don't think so.
No, that's pretty good coverage, because TJ even had, you know, he was trying to create a little space too. 2 guys going for the ball.
Good football.
Seska will try a 36-yarder here. Remember, he missed the last time he was on the field with a PAT. Is that going through his mind here? That kick is up, And it is no good. So Ryan Seska, who's missed only 2 field goals all year, suddenly struggling a bit. We'll come right back. The Beavers lead it by 10.
A new 2001 Rio with a 10-year warranty for $79.99 with $49 down, just $153 a month for a new car.
At John Keefer's dealerships, we've paid off lots of trades.
3 2001 Sportage SUVs, your choice, $13,999.
With just $49 down and only $251 a month for a 2001 SUV.
John Kiefer Kia, Valley River Auto Road.
At John Keefer's Kia, we'll get you a low monthly payment with just $49 down.
I'm not my father.
You are his son.
Here, we need desert power.
I didn't want to create a god.
You have no idea. You are desert power, and nothing can stop you.
Frank Herbert's Dune, a sci-fi original miniseries event, begins December 3rd.
It will take more than courage to survive what's coming.
Only on Sci-Fi.
9 minutes, 47 seconds left in regulation. The Ducks still down 10. Rashad Bowman was banged up here on that last play. Let's see if we can see what happened here. Didn't look like much there, but he had to be helped off the field. And now Harrington to throw, trying to go deep, and it is incomplete, intended for Marshawn Tucker. Harrington has spread the ball around today. 8 different guys have caught passes.
He must have thrown 10 fly patterns today, hadn't he?
They've done that a lot in press coverage. I mean, you know, you don't have as many options. You know, if Oregon State's going to play up near the line of scrimmage, deny the run, and you got press coverage on the outside, I mean, it limits the options that you have as a pass receiver and a quarterback.
You're right, especially with the 2 receivers that they play so much of, and the max protection, I guess you...
Keith Hayward-Johnson, by the way, back in for Oregon State. That's a good sign. He's out there at the top of your screen. Harrington is going to be able to run a little bit. He can do this. And he got hammered pretty much as he tried to slide down.
In the NFL, that would have been a penalty maybe for going after him while he was sliding. But in college football, you're fair game until you're down.
Well, this guy's a great athlete, Todd.
He really is. Great sense of what's going on, what needs to be done. And
he got down in time.
Just in time.
Harrington's younger brother, Michael, is the quarterback at Central Catholic High School. And, of course, we mentioned earlier, 7 come-from-behind wins Harrington has led the Ducks the last 2 seasons. So do not go away. Still about 9 minutes left in this one, and only a 10-point game. Remember, they were down 14 with less than 6 minutes left at Arizona State.
You knew that was coming.
Look, showed option and a first down. Harrington gets it.
It's great when you got a quarterback who can do so many things, you know. Just super job by him. He makes that by himself. Oregon State played it well.
It's just another element that the defense has to prepare for. And see here, normally you're supposed to carry that out and pitch it, but he saw the alley back to his left, and he knew he only needed a yard and a half. So you take the first available space.
Eric Manning, real good sophomore player. He's going to be a factor in the Pac-10, and I think he'll be an honors candidate another year.
Willis goes wide to the left side. Harrington looking to throw again. Pressure coming, got the ball away. It's up for grabs. It's incomplete, and a flag thrown very late. Hayward-Johnson was back defending on Marshawn Tucker. We saw a flag come back in that area. Harrington got hit just as he was throwing the football. Hayward-Johnson was back there defending. I really didn't see it, but I might have missed it.
I think that hold happens early, about 7-8 yards downfield, and I think the official just gets it out real late.
Prior to the ball being thrown, holding downfield on an eligible receiver defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic first down.
The Duck fans like it a lot. Right there in the background, you can see him grabbing and holding on. Keith Hayward-Johnson holding on to Tucker. There it is. And we see that judge over there throwing a lefty. He's a southpaw.
Yep. Now, we haven't seen Terrence Carroll, I don't believe, since he hopped off the field.
No, sir.
Keith Hayward-Johnson's in after an injury. Calvin Carlisle's still playing. So
Dennis Erickson's had a few injury things happen today that have made that secondary a little depleted. 8.5 minutes left. The Oregon cheerleaders, the rally squad, trying to get the team motivated here. The fans love it as Joey's leading them down the field again. That's complete to Marshawn Tucker. Weathersby makes the stop, but at the 32-yard line of the Beavers, Marshawn Tucker. He had 5 drops in that Wisconsin game. He's still kicking himself about it, but right here, he makes a big catch.
Well, you know, the test of a real good player is how you bounce back from adversity, and he certainly experienced that at Wisconsin. This one is just a deep zone by Oregon State, and the safeties were 45 yards downfield, and the middle was wide open.
Yep. Marshawn, of course, the new father, had a baby right before the Cal game, the Tuesday before the Cal game. Went out that day, had 6 receptions for 118 yards. And right here, that's a big play. It puts the Ducks in position to strike. Harrington throwing again. There's a flag on the play. Pass intended for LaCorey Collins, and I think it's Carlisle bumping him again.
Yeah, they're going to call this on him. He puts his elbow.
Oh, I tell you what. And Darnell Robinson may be fortunate he didn't get a penalty flag because he kicked at the flag that was thrown on the field.
Prior to the ball being thrown, holding downfield on a receiver defense.
This one's real close. He puts his elbow out there and knocks the guy off pretty good. I don't think this is it, but I don't know whether we're going to get the chance to see it.
So the Ducks now on the move, and if they can get in the end zone, it'll be a field goal difference, perhaps.
Well, it was down at the bottom, and it was earlier than that. It was just when he tried to make the out move. He ran an out and an up. It was just when he started to run the out.
1st and 10 at the 22 of Oregon State. Oregon State now 11 penalties, 105 yards. The screen set up, and I'll tell you, Harrington does a great job because the Darnell Robinson Express was rolling into town.
Excellent job again, athletic.
I'm not sure who he was throwing to because they had a wide receiver and a tailback in the same area on that screen pass. That's very unusual.
Yeah.
You don't normally see that. You know, remember the Ducks, when they went to the Rose Bowl in '94, the winning pass was a screen pass at about the same area of the field as here. Oregon's been good at the screens throughout the years, but this year teams are defending them a little bit more. I see 43 passes. That's a lot with plenty of time left in the game.
One thing about it, if you throw an incompletion, the clock stops, and it's still an ally at this point. Harrington's in trouble, puts the ball away, and he's going to go down at the 20. DeLawrence Grant makes the stop.
Well, that will not go as a sack because Harrington got over the line of scrimmage, but it's a minimal gain. The time continues to run off the clock. You know, Oregon needs 2 scores here. Harrington, a good job. He feels the pressure in Grant. What speed?
Yeah.
260-plus pounder. Wow.
Great. Well, here's the situation where Oregon's run the crossing play very successful. They've tried to set that screen up, although they just tried it. It's, you know, that's good time to come back with it if they've just seen it sometimes.
And fans for both teams very much in it right now. Beaver fans rooting on the defense. The Duck fans saying, get to the end zone. 3rd down and 8. Harrington throws to the end zone. Flag on the play. Incomplete, but I think you might have another penalty on Oregon State.
Well, 2 Beaver linebackers, Darnell Robinson and Richard Siegler, are arguing their case. That's not a good sign for Oregon State.
And Robinson has to be careful here because he is still in the face of an official. He is a captain, but still, you don't want to lose your cool.
Defense, 10-yard penalty, automatic 1st down.
Well, he might be the captain of the debate team right now.
Yeah. And Erickson doesn't like it a bit, nor do the fans here in Corvallis. And suddenly, you know, the Beavers now have 12 penalties in the game for 125 yards. The Ducks, who had been penalized heavily in that first quarter, 11 penalties, 117. The Beavers now penalized more.
Well, this drive is 3 10-yard penalties, 2 of them on 3rd down.
1st and 10 at the 10. Nothing doing there. James Allen comes up and stops Morris. Clock running, 6:45. I'll tell you what, the Beaver fans are awfully nervous right now, knowing what the Ducks have done week after week.
That's it.
There are a lot of tight callers right about now on both sides.
That's a
I mean, a game that just means so much. I mean, 9-1, the Rose Bowl on the line, certainly for Oregon, maybe for Oregon State.
Beavers have had 4 picks in the game. They'd like to get a 5th. Harrington says, no, sir, I'd like a touchdown, thank you. And he gets clobbered. Football's on the turf. The Beavers have it. Grant picks up the fumble.
A big play. Sefa O'Reilly,
sir,
is a 7-year player. He was recruited by Jerry Pettibone, went on a Mormon mission, came back. He's given great time all season. He comes in to relieve Ladarius Jackson. Big hit right here.
It's a 3-step drop.
Wow.
And he
Joey never saw it.
Never saw him. Came off the edge. DeLawrence Grant picks up the loose ball, heads upfield, and that may be the one that seals it.
5 turnovers today for Oregon. DeLawrence Grant says, keep that football. I'd like that for my trophy case. Thank you very much. We'll take a quick break and come back. Beavers dodge a bullet here, and the Ducks have some work to do, needing a turnover of their own. 23-13, the Beavers lead the Ducks.
Jack, welcome to Signs and Stuff and Things.
Yeah, I got this spicy chicken sandwich with just the right amount of spice. And it's served hot because we won't make it till you order it. But here's the big thing. It's real chicken breast. You got a sign like that? No. 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 No! Real chicken breast! How do you stay in business?
How fast can I get a chipmunk tube top sign?
If your current advertising strategy is creating less than a steady stream of business, and your goal is more of a heavy downpour, increase the flow with big, aggressive advertising, like you'll find in the World Pages Regional Telephone Directory. Call 425-373-4RTD and secure the premium marketing position your business deserves. Don't delay. Time is running out. World Pages, around the corner or around the globe, we'll take you there.
There is DeLawrence Grant, who recovered the fumble a moment ago, a fumble caused by Sefa O'Reilly, and it might save the Beavers.
Take a look, this coming, the wide outside rush on a 3-step drop. That's a cover sack, folks. Excellent cover at the corners. Now, big situation. Oregon State, you know, you wonder if they get conservative. Todd, Dennis Erickson only has 1 offense, and it's his offense. It's going to be balanced. He could throw.
Patrick McCall now in the backfield for Oregon State. Handoff to McCall. He's trying to get some room in which to operate. He picks up about 3 yards. McCall, by the way, was a Pop Warner football teammate of Rasuli Webster. Did you know that?
I did not know that.
Absolutely true. They were also a teammate of Willie Hurst. He was on that team. That was a pretty good Pop Warner team.
Oh, goodness. I tell you what, they had recruiters going to their games early. You see Oregon's miscues today. A lot of penalties, 5 turnovers. They've been good in that department most of the year. 1 missed field goal. Actually, 2 sacks, I believe.
2 sacks.
We had 1 here, and I think 1 in the first quarter. But a lot of that's caused by Oregon State's pressure defense.
Hand off. No, play action instead. And Smith, he's going to run. Jonathan Smith is going to get a first down. Oh, Smith up to near midfield. He doesn't scramble much. His season-long 21 yards. He's caught from behind by Keith Lewis, but the fans here all know that's a huge play for the Beaver quarterback.
Todd, he did the same thing at Cal a couple of weeks ago. Huge situation. He averted a sack as you watch another Duck cornerback, Brian Johnson, come off the field. Look at this. Jonathan would tell you, and Dennis Erickson would tell you, that's nothing but speed and athleticism.
I thought Coach Erickson would say it's coaching, but not. Right, you know, he's got. I mean, he can move. I mean, that's a misnomer that he can't move. And
you know what? He might still have a chance to get voted in.
Well, in Eugene, they'd ask for a recount.
That was a huge play. Same thing at Cal. Huge play. A couple of plays later, I think it was McCall in that one that went through the distance.
Brian Johnson, as we mentioned, had to be helped off the field here while we were taking a look at the replay. So, again, injuries. Hey, you're in the 11th game of the year. You're going to have stuff happen. And these two teams definitely are hitting. Inside 5 minutes to go. The Beavers with a 10-point lead in the football, and McCall has stood up at the line of scrimmage by that front 4. The Beavers, I'll tell you, they've done a lot of stuff this year. They had never won a game at Tucson. They did win a game at Tucson. They'd never beaten the 2 LA schools in the same season. They've done it. Here's the last time that they won the conference title. That was '64, and they went to the Rose Bowl in '65. The last time they'd won 9 was back in '62, but the 9-1 start, the best ever for Oregon State. They've won 5 straight games. The streak, 66, was 9, and then, of course, Oregon State ranked as high as number 8. Last time was in '68. Steve Priest, you were involved in that.
I remember that.
You were the quarterback. And now, the Beavers try to keep the drive alive. Pass going to Houshmandzadeh. And did he get it? No! Flag is thrown. A flag is thrown from across the field, and Smith says, that can't be on me.
Well,
the Duck fans don't like it a bit.
That was a great catch. At first, I thought he made the catch, but apparently not.
Pass interference, defense, 15 yards from the previous spot.
Todd, the one I'm surprised here, they're down to their 3rd cornerback on the other side with Bauman down and Johnson hurt. And I'm really surprised they're going this side. They're going against Steve Smith, who's had a great year.
Whoa, that looked like a catch, didn't it?
Like
it looked like a catch. Looked like it might have been a push-off on Houshmandzadeh.
I think both guys doing a little jostling there.
And Smith is arguing his case still to the back judge, saying that couldn't have been on me.
Well, you talked about the aggressiveness of Dennis Erickson, and I was not surprised that they went downfield there. The only thing that surprised me is that they went after Steve Smith. A bigger corner has had a good year, maybe not trying the other side. And we do see Bowman is back in the game.
1st and 10, 37-yard line. McCall, the running back, he has it. And the ball almost stripped out of there nicely. Great effort by the Ducks. And I'll tell you something, Rasuli Webster almost got that football out of the arms of Mr. McCall, and the Ducks are calling timeout to try to stop the clock right here.
Well, you just got it.
Yeah.
The Beavers, that was 1st down, so the Beavers run it down to 2 minutes if this doesn't happen.
And you need 2 scores if you're Oregon, assuming Oregon State doesn't get something here.
Stick around, folks. Still almost 4 minutes to play, but the Beavers lead by 10. Welcome back to Reser Stadium. Scott Lynn, Todd McKim, Steve Priest with you. The Beavers with a 10-point lead and the clock on their side.
Well, they have clock, they have field position, but quite frankly, even if Oregon State kicks a field goal here, the Ducks still have hope. You can see Coach Bellotti, what he's done, 6 years as the offensive coordinator, 6 years as the head coach. He has done a phenomenal job at Oregon, taking a program that went to a Rose Bowl, but continuing and building upon the success. And quite frankly, that's what Dennis Erickson has said all along about this program at Oregon State. You don't want to be one-year wonders. You want to have consistency, and Oregon has established themselves as one of the contenders every year.
Absolutely.
2nd down and 8. Play action. Smith to throw. Got time. Throws. Houshmandzadeh broken up by Steve Smith.
Well, and Oregon State fans are going to say, hey, if you run the ball, make them use timeouts, you run clock, but go back to Dennis Erickson. He's going for the kill now.
Oregon State, a 3rd down play here, 3rd and 8. The Beavers are just 1 of 9 on 3rd down conversions today. The Ducks are 9 of 16. You don't know the score, you'd think it's totally the other way around.
Well, turnovers, obviously the difference in this football game.
Absolutely.
5 Oregon turnovers. And this last one was so big because they were in position, if nothing else, to kick a field goal and make it a 1-possession game.
Absolutely. Now, in this situation, all the Beavers have done all day is get the ball to Marty Mallett. Looks like the showing blitz going to go into something else, so this will be the middle linebacker's position.
Smith going to tuck it, run it, and use up some clock. Probably not a bad decision in this situation.
I think that is a good play there. You roll him out, you get him away for some pressure.
Now let me ask you here, because Ryan Seska has kicked some long field goals this year, but he has missed the last point after and his last field goal attempt. Do you try a field goal here, Steve?
Well, another 3 points doesn't really help the Beavers. They're still within 2 scores, right, Tom?
Well, if you kick a field goal, that means the Ducks need 2 touchdowns.
Yep. You're right.
You know, so you have an opportunity here to force them to kick, go for 2 touchdowns as opposed to a touchdown and a field goal.
And they're going to go for it, I think.
Yeah.
4th and 4.
That looks like what they're doing.
This could be a rather significant play, but certainly they're going to take a timeout here. Well, the Beavers are going to call a timeout and talk it over. So this is a big moment in
because
the football game.
Oregon State, if they go for it, they're saying, we're going to try to win the game right now. If we get the first down, game is over.
That's it. That's exactly it. And I do think, Scott, in the thought process goes your comment. I think that if Seska has not missed the extra point and the field goal in his last 2 kicks, I think Dennis probably steps out there with probably the hottest kicker in the Pac-10 and kicks it. Now, it looks like Seska's warming up, so.
Yeah, he's jumping up and down on the sideline now, just in case.
Well,
it's also, keep this in mind, it's a long field goal. How has he been this year at getting the ball up quick on long attempts, because you don't want a block?
Well, he's kicked a 49-yarder, so that'll be something we'll see here in just a moment. But let's flash back to the glory years, the last time that the Beavers went to the Rose Bowl. We're in black and white. You know it's been a long time. 3 straight years. This was 1962. Terry Baker's late game heroics gave the Beavers a 2017 win and a spot in the Liberty Bowl. 1963, the Ducks won big at Hayward Field, 31-14. Went on to beat SMU in the Sun Bowl. And then 1964. The Beavers clinched their last Rose Bowl berth. It was a 7-6 thriller. Booker Washington touchdown in the 4th quarter. The difference, 7-6, the Beavers won it. And you saw the roses here at Reser Stadium. Beaver fans are now thinking that too. Duck fans obviously were thinking roses coming in, but now there's work to do. 4th down and 4. Don't go away. Ducks need to hold. The Beavers want a first down. And Smith taking a timeout, trying to draw him off.
That was all they were doing, was trying to get it out there. Now they're going to come kick the field goal.
They had nothing to lose. I mean, if nothing else, you take the timeout. You don't get the penalty, 5 yards. So,
well, Seska on the year is 4 of 6 from 40 to 49 yards. He has the leg to do this. The only thing that I'm talking about is there's got to be some doubt in his mind, and Josh Frankel can relate to that. You miss a couple, you start thinking about it. I'm afraid Ryan Seska might be thinking about it just a little bit right here.
But you know what the coaches are thinking about? Don't kick a low ball. The longer the field goal, the more power you need to generate, the lower generally the kick it is. So that's the one thing that Oregon State is thinking about right here. We don't want to block. And, of course, Oregon had a blocked field goal in the overtime against Washington State. Jed Boyce.
Last week at Arizona, Seska was 4 of 4 on field goal attempts, and he was the Pac-10 player of the week. He might have a key thing here in just a moment. Okay, coming up tonight, it's the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report, 30 minutes of nightly sports news completely dedicated to home teams throughout the Northwest. Home team news, local stories, and regional highlights. For extended regional highlights and in-depth interviews, don't miss the 11 p.m. Regional Sports Report tonight only on Fox Sports Net.
You know, the only way Oregon can win this game is if they get the ball back.
The Beavers are going to punt.
They're going to punt.
Fessler
this
comes
makes some
on.
sense.
Yep, Mike Fessler.
I agree with you.
Now, Fessler, throughout the season, and much of his career, really has had some trouble trying to pin him down inside. The Ducks have no return men. They're possibly going to come here. Nobody back to take the punt, so they're coming. It's short. Nice punt. Great coverage by Newsom and Terrence Gray. And that's where the Ducks will have possession. Mike Fessler has done it. The senior, who was a high school player, all-stater from North Carolina, has pinned the Ducks deep, and they're down by 10.
下一则新闻是今天下午进行的中原总决赛，大家都在观看着，等待着他的到来。这位选手，他已经做好准备了，大家报以热烈的掌声。他已经做好了准备活动，两个眼睛紧紧地盯着这棵树，他正在做着准备活动。他先向以前的长者行着礼，两位勇士还在继续发着。
Captain comeback, Joey Harrington under center, 97 yards away from the end zone. Now he's in his own and has to throw out of there, and it's incomplete. Jake Cook is coming up, was thinking about maybe trying to get his 4th intercept of the day. Harrington has done a great job except for the interception part of that. And I'll tell you, 300 yards passing, 41 attempts. 4 interceptions, the story of the day.
A little bit of pressure on him the last 2 series. The first time the Beavers have actually put pressure on him since the first series or so of the game has just been recently.
Well, quite frankly, I think you put a lot of pressure on him here because even if he runs the ball, how far is he going to be able to run? Yeah, you got to come after him.
Oregon State fans on their feet. That pass is complete to Howry, and he is dropped immediately by Weathersby.
Boy, that was a sweet play by Weathersby. They had a little quick screen set up with a blocker in front. An excellent job as the Ducks go to a 2-minute drill and no huddle.
Yeah, literally the 2-minute drill.
Yeah, 2.5 minutes left. You got to be in it. Harrington calling the play. 3rd down and 8. From his end zone again. Throws, and it is complete. Yes, Sammy Parker got a foot down.
What a shot.
That was a strike, wasn't it?
Boy, can he throw that football or what?
Well, he has said numerous times it's not over until the gun sounds. No quit in this guy. Just a great throw. Good protection, and he steps up. He's got a good feel for the pocket, too.
Well, that ball was just an absolute on-a-line strike. Wow.
There's Ladarius Jackson, number 95. There's Mike Bellotti looking on. His team's been behind in the 4th quarter, seemingly week after week, but they've come back to win, and that is in and out of the hands.
But that
that ball was right there, too, and Willis had his hands on it.
That's a catchable ball, and, you know, and Jason Willis just didn't get 2 hands up there on that one.
I mean, it's amazing. He's putting the ball in. That was great coverage by Carlisle. We saw it down by the goal line early with LaCorey Collins, where he absolutely put it right by Carlisle's ear. Wow, what an arm.
Oregon, undefeated in the Pac-10 Conference, trying to get to the Rose Bowl with a win here today, but trailing by 10. Just over 2 minutes left. The Beavers trying to gain a share of the Pac-10 championship. That is a complete pass to Tucker. He's got the first down, and a flag comes out and is thrown from the field judge right in front of the Oregon bench.
They kind of call it unsportsmanlike somewhere, but I didn't see anybody even in contact.
Well, I believe there might have been something said, Steve. I still think that in this game, especially with a situation where the game might be in hand if the Beavers hold for a moment.
After the play, illegal ball to the head, defense, 15 yards.
I guess there was contact. Now, I didn't see that either.
First down.
Yeah, I didn't see anybody close to anybody.
Well, Erickson looks on now.
Somebody must have taken a pop at Jason Willis. Carlisle and Weathersby were both on this side of the field, but we did not see it, so I don't want to say one guy over the other.
Well, it's never been easy for Oregon State this year. Even at UCLA, where they seemingly were in position to have the game wrapped up, it was close. And now right here, the Ducks are a touchdown and an onside kick away from being in position. That is picked off! DeLawrence Grant! DeLawrence Grant with his first career interception. And is it a big one or what?
Wow, that was a tough pass to catch.
Number 1 for number 1. 6 turnovers by Oregon. You got to give a lot of credit to that Oregon State defense.
Well, they came into this game second in the Pac-10 in turnover takeaway margin. And there is the 6th, the 5th interception. That's just unbelievable.
That's an athlete. You know, he obviously was stopped by a pretty good blocking assignment and then just looked up and stepped back.
I'm sure Harrington never thought that DeLawrence Grant, the defensive end, would be there. I don't know if he did that on his own or if it was a zone blitz and he would back off, but he was in the right spot.
That was on his own. I mean, he was clearly in a pass rush and then just dropped off.
Bushmanzada in motion. The handoff to Simonton. He'll cover it up with 2 hands. You know that's coming. The Ducks have just 1 timeout left, and they'll probably use it here to stop the clock, and they do indeed. So timeout called by Oregon. No timeouts left in this football game. Beaver fans starting to sense it. It's almost over. Dennis Erickson is about to coach his team to a 10-win season in Corvallis. There were many people who thought it would never, ever happen.
And now it's in 1 decade.
Yeah.
Right. Time now for our Magnolia moment, our play of the day. And Hey, there's a lot of them, but let's call it right here to Lawrence Grant.
Well, Seppo O'Reilly right there makes the big hit on a 3-step drop. DeLawrence recovers it. Then he makes the big interception just a second ago. Big day for number 1. An outstanding football player that you'll get to watch on Sundays next year, Todd.
Boy, he is a good player. 2 great defensive ends, the Darius Jackson and Lawrence Grant. And today it's been Grant that's come up with the big plays. Last week it was Jackson who had the 3 sacks.
Well, I'll tell you, I hate to say ever that a game's over or anything else, because this Oregon team was in the same position at Arizona State, weren't they, Tom?
The only difference was they were down only 1 score, not 2 scores.
That's true.
This has just been a fantastic year in the state of Oregon for college football. Hard-hitting game today that Jonathan Smith and his troops look to have in the bag. But by the same token, the Oregon defense did a great job today. They just couldn't create enough turnovers.
No.
Turnovers the difference.
Oregon denied in its bid to try to win 10 games for the first time in school history. The Ducks haven't had the 8-game winning streak. Never have had a 9-game winning streak within the season. Going to come up a little short there, too, it would appear. And now Simonton around the corner is knocked out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. He would have rather stayed inbounds, but hey, he was sensing some good stuff happening.
That's the Ken Simonton you know right there. That little dart to the outside, and he is so quick to re-accelerate.
There are the Roses. And the Beavers, of course, hoping for an opportunity to play in Pasadena. They talked about it when they won at UCLA during the regular season.
Well, it's a happy day for the Beavs if they can finish this job off right now. Minute 33, first down. Beavers are going to take a knee.
There's the first one. Jonathan Smith looks up, says, how about that, fans? The Beavers, who just 2 years ago suffered through their 28th consecutive losing season, and now a bowl game a year ago and a Pac-10 sharing of the conference title for the Beavers here. The Ducks, of course, don't forget, have already clinched a share of their 6th Pac-10 championship. So these are both champs. Beaver fans getting ready to run on the field to celebrate. Ken Simonton, 113 yards rushing in this football game. Jonathan Smith, close to 250 yards passing. Marty Maurer with 5 catches, 73 yards, and Prescott with 6 catches for 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. And right now, with 40 seconds left, Jonathan Smith and the Beavers are soaking it all in. Fans getting ready to rush the field. It will be 10-1 for the Oregon State Beavers a short time from now.
Some of the Oregon State players are wise to head off the field already. They don't want to be involved in what is going to be a wild situation here. Jonathan Smith knows that it's done. The Beavers with 10 wins share a championship.
Unbelievable.
Watch him celebrate here at Reser Stadium. 10-1 Oregon State heading to a bowl game for the 2nd straight year for the first time in school history. The coaches with congratulations, and what a battle it's been all year for these 2 guys. Both outstanding coaches and outstanding seasons for their teams. Todd?
As I mentioned before, it's been a great year in the state of Oregon for college football. We haven't seen this for a long, long time. Although I will say, I think we might see this kind of thing again, because I think both of these programs have shown that they're here to stay.
Well, without a doubt. You never thought this would occur. I mean, 2 years ago, you probably wouldn't have even dreamed of it within the short foreseeable future. Now you're seeing it. 2 great coaching staffs, a couple of great teams, and 2 schools that are really supporting this thing. It's wonderful.
And the fans celebrate here in Corvallis. I'll tell you, that short drive back to Eugene will seem like it's hours long today.
Well, it's been a great year for Oregon. I mean, here they were in control of their own destiny going into the final game. That's all you can ask for. And quite frankly, today, too many mistakes to be a conference sole champion. And so they don't go to the Rose Bowl this year. I like what I see here is the celebration by the Oregon State people is celebration amongst themselves, not anything against their arch rival. And maybe they're getting used to winning up here because nobody's taking down the goalpost.
You know, there is some truth to that, but I think that the drive the Beavers are going to make is to the closest television set right now.
That, of course, to watch the Fox coverage of the Washington State game. And obviously, if Washington State were to win that game, it is Oregon State that would end up, if Washington State wins, the Beavers head to the Rose Bowl. So Tavita Moala and the Oregon State Beavers, nothing but smiles. Todd McKim, thanks for being with us, partner.
My pleasure. Good game. Congratulations on a good season.
And
Thanks
Steve,
again,
a great year being with you, my friend.
Hey, thank you, Scotty, as always. This has been one that we'll always remember 30, 40 years from now.
We're never going to talk about those 67 and 68 teams again, are we, partner?
I hope not.
All right. So for Todd McKim and Steve Priest, this is Scott Lynn saying so long from Reser Stadium in Corvallis, where the final score is Oregon State 23, Oregon 13. They are Pac-10 co-champs. You've been watching the Civil War on Fox Sports Net. Stay tuned later tonight. It's your regional sports report at 11 p.m. right here on Fox Sports Net.
It's fun, probably.